Welcome to Tucker Carlson. Welcome to Yellowbrick Road. I am Jordan, and today
What the fuck?
we're gonna watch some Tucker Carlson and Mike Huckabee, the infamous interview where Tucker got harassed and beaten up by the IDF and the Mossad. And we're gonna watch some parts of the interview. I'm just curious. I guess I don't know. Feels like I was in a deeper thought before, and now I'm like, God, fucking Tucker Carlson and Mike Huckabee. Imagine how simpleton, dumb fuck kindergarten shit this conversation is gonna be. It's not the shit on anyone. It's just like these guys. I don't think they know that world. So, expect it to be about, oh, look what Israel's doing. Why are they treating Christians this way? Yada yada yada. And we're gonna react to it. But first, don't forget to share, support, hopefully donate to all the links in the description box. Also, please check out the Discord link if you want to join that. We're in that Discord right now. All opinions are welcome. And obviously, I will share this video so you can go watch it on your own. I'm sure you can find it on your own. But either way, I'll link it for my own sourcing so I can find it for myself if I have to.
I'm going to come.
That's right. Come away.
Do not come.
No, don't come. Either way, let's get into this. Let me put it on the closed caption. Here's Tucker Carlson, Mike Huckabee, on America's toxic relationship with Israel. And I'm starting with this topic, the Jonathan Pollard guy, who I guess was a spy, allegedly a spy, spying on the U.S., and then he got caught with it, and then he escaped to Israel, and now he's fine. Now he's not in trouble, I guess. I guess it's good to be friends, Let's hear it. Here we go. I'm gonna be skipping around too. There's no way I watch all fucking 2 hours and 45 minutes of this shit. All right, here we go.
Thank you very much
That's
for
fucking loud.
having us,
Holy.
for inviting me. I was grateful to be invited.
Well, thank you.
I was grateful because I don't like all
The mics are super hot.
the name calling.
Whoa.
I've engaged in some of it. I want to apologize for that. In general, I don't think people should be going immediately to motive, calling each other Nazis or anti-Semites. I said I hate the Christian Zionists. I lost control of myself. Of course I don't. I've apologized for that. I have problems with my anger, and so I just want to apologize to you since you are a Christian Zionist.
You and I have known each other for over 30 years.
Over 30 years. That is totally true.
Back when you were in Little Rock. So,
Yes. I was at the newspaper.
it's
in
why I
Little Rock.
wanted us to have a conversation, talk to each other and not about each other. And I appreciate very much your coming here to.
Of course, and I'm only staying a couple hours, unfortunately, because I kind of shoehorned this in, but I hope that I will be back soon, and I hope that I can come back soon, because I actually like, despite what you may hear, I actually like the country. I've been here a lot, and there are a lot of things I love about it, and I want to talk to people in it for like a week.
So they could have killed
Good.
Tucker
Get a
anytime they
better
wanted
sense of
to,
it.
but they took out Charlie Kirk.
So I want to ask you, everyone I've talked to
Makes sense.
in preparation for this has said the same thing. Jonathan Pollard,
Yeah.
I'm just going to throw the name to you and have you explain.
No, I'm glad you asked.
Of course.
Interestingly, there's been a lot of things about it. You're the first person who has asked me about it, which I find amazing. So I'm glad you did.
Really?
Yeah, the very first
Good.
person.
Well, it's better to hear it.
Sure. I met Jonathan Pollard 2 times. Once I was making a speech in Jerusalem. This has been a few years ago. His wife was still alive at the time, and he was there. And someone introduced me to him and his wife. I said hello to them. That was it. Hi. Nice to meet Esther, his wife, and that was it. I went and made my speech, and I left. Later, his wife passed away here in Israel. And I sent him a note and just said, I'm sorry to hear about your wife. I remember meeting her at the hotel, and sorry to hear it. He then asked, could he come and see me? He wanted to come and thank me for being kind to him. He came to the embassy. I think we met for maybe 30 minutes. We had a nice, pleasant visit. The funny thing was the New York Times reported that it was a secret meeting.
I say pause.
Tucker, if you've ever been to the U.S. Embassy, you would know there's no such thing as a secret meeting at the U.S. Embassy.
sure.
There are cameras everywhere. You walk through Marines, you walk through security, you walk through the front office, and there's a dozen or more people that are going to check you out when you come. And before you
I mean,
get
a
there,
plane
you're
did
going to
hit
have
the
to
Pentagon.
give us your passport information. You're going to have to be vetted and screened and all of this stuff. So the idea that it was secret was ludicrous. The whole idea is, look, Jonathan Pollard did something that was terribly wrong. He sold secrets. He shouldn't have done it. He was sentenced to 30 years in prison and spent 30. Actually, I think he was sentenced to maybe more than 30 years, but he spent 30 years in prison. Most people convicted of something similar, which was one count, so I believe, would have spent 2 to 4, but he spent 30. I don't have a problem with him spending 30 because I think what he did was despicable. I'm not defending anything about what he did. But even people like the former director of the CIA,
I think I was thinking of the cybersecurity
a number
guy.
of other senators on the Senate Foreign Relations of the Senate Intel Committee said that he should be allowed to leave and move to Israel if he wanted to. So it, to me, was not as big a deal that I had this basically courtesy meeting. He wanted to thank me for being nice to him when his wife died. That's pretty much the story.
You advocated for his release when you ran for, I remember it, in 2011, long before he had served 30 years. And I agree with you that there are a lot of people languishing in prison, in our country and in this country, and many countries, for longer periods than they deserve. And I think it's a Christian impulse to want to see them free. But this was the greatest traitor in modern American history who sold our battle plans against the Soviet Union, our main enemy in the Cold War, to the Israeli government, which, according to our Reagan CIA director, Bill Casey, then gave them to the Soviet Union. So this was the most profound betrayal of the United States in my lifetime. Why advocate for that guy's release before he serves his full sentence?
If that were the case in 2011, it would have been because I had a number of friends that suggested that he had more than served time, and he didn't want to live in the U.S. anymore. He wanted to live in Israel. And but my association with him, again, I had never met him until I met him in Jerusalem at a hotel. That was the first time I had ever encountered him.
I'm friends with a million.
Listen, bro. That full, this is where it's like, I don't use this term racism, but I mean, if someone's going to make the case, there's your case. If you turn that dude into an Arab Muslim who stole secrets from the U.S. and sold them to Iran, that dude's getting hung the next day, bro. Let's just be honest about that, bro. Just say, on the surface, that seems to be the case. So, I think, it's just, in your face, blatant to me. I mean, ICE alone, right? Just look at the way they move around. So, and 9/11, right? People who had nothing to do with 9/11 are getting their asses beat in the fucking streets, right? Who didn't commit a crime or anything. Obviously, the people in these countries that get blown up who didn't do anything wrong, right? They're just living their lives. Some idiots did something, maybe. Or some idiots joined some fucking terrorist group or some shit like that, right? But somehow it's just collective punishment. And then this guy gets, in the Cold War, where it's he sold secrets, and it ends up in the hands of the Soviet Union. There's no fucking chance. They would have hung that motherfucker if he was someone else, man. That's the racism.
Not to justify it, but Muslims have always been a lot more vicious toward the West than the Jews have.
More vicious? I mean, once again,
as far as terrorism, you're not going to see a Jew running down the street in a suicide vest.
How many terrorist attacks were done by Muslims in the U.S.? Exactly.
How many?
Yeah, how many? You
want me to print up the Google report again of what Iran did over the last 50 years?
Oh, see, but that is, I'm sorry, a lot of that's easily propaganda. I'm talking about real things. You might be able to count them on one hand. It depends on how you define certain things. Oh my God, see this guy who drove through a parade? That guy was Muslim, see? So look, terrorist attack. Right? But a school shooter's not a terrorist attack, right? It's called something different. Right? I understand. But yeah, that one's kind of drastic. That's kind of a drastic scenario. But let's see where they go. There we go.
Million bad people, or I've talked to a million bad people.
I'm sitting here with you. Right. I mean, come on.
Jesus ain't with tax collectors. So trust me, do not judge people who are friends or know or enjoy the company of immoral people, because it's not an endorsement of their immoral behavior. Pollard is different. I think once you become U.S. ambassador, the representative of the President of the United States, in the United States of America in a foreign country, and then you invite not only the most damaging betrayer in our lifetimes, but also a guy who continues to advocate for betrayal. So he gave an interview, as
He's
I know,
not that, but I get what he's saying.
in 2021 to Israeli media, in which he said, I would encourage Jewish Americans with security clearances to spy for Mossad against their own country, the United States, because, and I'm pretty much quoting him, all Jews should have dual loyalty. That's not repentance. That's not someone who feels bad about what he did. That's someone who's encouraging American Jews to betray their country. That's pretty heavy, don't you think?
Oh, I do. And I disagree with that wholeheartedly. I think, let's remember, it was President Trump who probably facilitated his departure. And I'm certainly
try to give
supportive of
Trump
President
points.
Trump. I think you are. And
Pollard's not. He called him a madman after your meeting.
that's why I say Pollard is not, for me, the real issue. It was the fact that he did something that was despicable. I'm not denying that. Of course he did. And he paid dearly for it, 30 years in prison, and he should have. That's what he should have done. There's no question about it.
Why
another
meet with him in the U.S. Embassy? Your colleagues said they
treasonous.
were shocked. They said that
Who were the colleagues that said they were shocked?
quoted on background in the
Oh, and by the way, it actually isn't about race. If this was a Jewish guy who's like Antifa communist who sold secrets to fucking Soviet Russia, they're hanging that motherfucker the next day. They will hang him. And if that's not fast enough, they'll ship him to Israel to get him hung over there. Let's just be honest. The apparatus were like, we need to kill him now. I'm just saying. That's what it seems like. Unless he was like an operative the whole time. He's like a regular person that's somehow had like some hacking skills or something like that, stole these secrets and gave it away to who they thought was like a better pick. Oh, these guys are communists? Let me send them all this information. That motherfucker is getting killed. They're getting killed or going to jail for life. In like a really bad prison. Right. And no Ghislaine Maxwell treatment. Yeah, it is what it is. Yeah. Also, people shouldn't be, I mean, in my opinion, shouldn't be loyal to a fucking country, bro. Like, did you make the rules? These motherfuckers know you. They don't. You and your family are just sacrifices for they can live in nice houses. But all right, here we go.
New York Times. I think the meeting was in August. I mean, this could all be fake. That's why I'm asking you.
Well, the same New York Times said it was a secret meeting. And I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a secret meeting in the U.S. Embassy.
Do you see why the U.S. ambassador hosting a convicted betrayer of his own country who's encouraging Americans to continue to betray their country would seem shocking?
Well, I would say that it wasn't that you make it sound like I'm hosting a meeting. I simply met with him. I meet with people all the time.
Some can just walk in without a...
No, they have to have an appointment. Of course they do.
Oh, so it is.
Yeah.
Sounds like Epstein, okay.
Well, I don't know if it was hosting,
I didn't get
but
that.
it was
No, I just had a meeting.
He was able to come to the U.S. Embassy to have a meeting at his request. I did. And frankly, I don't regret it. I met with a lot of people over the course of the time I've been here, and we'll meet with a lot more.
He's on paid vacation, Mike Huckabee,
That's
bro.
it.
Let's be honest.
So if you spend
Holy
the
fuck,
evening
Tucker.
at my house, you were guaranteed...
No. It's a set, bro. It's not your house. It's a set. They switch... Oh, okay. Now they're going to go to the cyber... One of the top Israeli cyber security guys that got caught in I think it was an FBI sting, trying to meet up with a younger girl or some shit like that, and he got caught, and then he fled the country, and now he's doing his court hearings through Zoom, I think, in the comfort of his home. All right, here we go.
There have also been, and there continue to be, dozens and dozens and dozens of accused sex offenders from the United States who fled to Israel, including one recently, an Israeli government official who was caught trying to molest a 15-year-old girl and fled to Israel and is not going back to the United States to stand charges for attempted molestation of a child. Have you advocated for the Israeli government to return him to the United States?
I'm not familiar with that case. It has not come to us at the embassy. So I'm not aware. Is this the person in Nevada?
That is correct.
Yes.
Okay, I heard
Clark
about
County, I would imagine so.
Yeah, I heard about it, but I heard about it through open source media. It was never something that was presented to us, but I would have no problem
Open
with
source media.
him being extradited back to the U.S.
You're the president's and our country's representative in the state of Israel, so I think it would fall to you
Israel's
to advocate with
non-extradition
your friend, the prime
unless they
minister, to
want to.
say, wait a second, we have a very close relationship.
Yes, they are. You bet your ass they are. You bet your ass.
If they
are.
want to.
No.
If you're a Jew and you want to stay there, they're not going to extradite you.
If you're the U.S. and say, we'll do this unless you give us this person, they'll fucking move. The problem is the U.S. won't do that, right? But they could do that. If you think about it, they could do that. And Israel knows that. I don't care about all the statements. I know that they can kind of be a little bit more independent-wise in regards to geopolitics and foreign policy, but not that independent. I mean, if the U.S. is like, well, Iran, we're not gonna protect them. We're not gonna help them. We're not gonna protect them. They're fucked. Iran will run them the fuck over. It is what it is. Now it comes like Hezbollah getting beat up in fucking Lebanon or some shit like that, or Syrian fucking random groups or whatever the fuck. Sure, they can handle themselves. They're fucking like a first world nation, right? But Iran, nah. So if, once again, not gonna happen, but if Trump picks up the phone and is like, excuse me, yeah, baby, yeah, we're not gonna help you with Iran unless you give us that fucking guy. They will FedEx that fool in 2 seconds. They'll put him in a box and ship him over to the U.S. Same day delivery shit. He'll be there with a fucking bow on his head. Thanks, BB.
Maybe. Or maybe they just disappear him.
Where? Where would you disappear him to?
Well, you're gonna
Somewhere
have to
else
ask
in
them to solve
Israel?
that.
Like
That's their bread and butter.
somewhere else in Israel? It's like, yeah, you don't think the CIA can get into fucking Israel? Of course they can. Of course they can. In fact, they're already there, let's be honest. It's more of a friendly thing. But if they wanted to like do some spy shit over there or get a third party, like, let's be real. The U.S. could fund a regime change in Israel if they wanted to any day. I'm not saying they're going to do that. I'm saying they can. There's not enough for them over there to where they can hold this shit down. No offense, like they don't have that shit. But they're not going to do that. So obviously, and Mike Huckabee saying like, "Oh, never heard of the guy. I heard of it, but like, I don't know. What could I do?" It's like, well, you're the ambassador. You can actually tell the president about this stuff, and like, you know what I'm saying? Kind of like your job. But I think Mike Huckabee's on paid vacation essentially. Like, yo, go chill on the beaches of Tel Aviv. Just hang out, you know, hang out for 4 years and the retirement, you know, vacation. Just pretend you don't see anything and just keep it moving. All right, here we go.
To the U.S.
You're the president's and our country's representative in the state of Israel, so I think it would fall to you to advocate with your friend, the prime minister, to say, wait a second, we have a very close relationship. We're obviously the single largest source of outside funding for this country.
I think it was the head of cybersecurity,
How can
right?
you take an accused child molester and shield him from American justice, send him back to the United States? Have you ever had that conversation?
No, because the prime minister would not be the proper person
That may be
in
right.
Israel.
Pardon my ignorance. But
that would deal with an extradition. It would go through their court system. And so the prime minister is separate, very similar to what we have in the U.S., where there's a separation of powers. So it would go through something other than the prime minister.
Have you advocated?
That's a fucking, like, we know that as Americans, bro. In certain things, the fucking president will say, do that, and it'll fucking happen. Come on, we're not stupid. We're not stupid. Not saying he actually wields that power like that, but in a way, this what has been showcased through these executive orders and shit like that. Like, yeah, you can't. These guys do have power like that, bro. I mean, Netanyahu's been blowing up people left and right. Like, where's his limits on power or expression of power? Like, hey, Netanyahu, we want you for corruption. We want to, like, you know, indict you and put you on trial for corruption. No, I'm busy fighting a war. Oh, all right. Well, we'll wait till you're done. When you're done with that, then you're in big trouble, pal. But go ahead, keep doing what you're doing. That's what's happening. It is like, come on, son. And in fact, he might get a pardon. Please pardon him, please. Here we go.
To the courts, to judges, to anybody in the Israeli justice system?
There has never been a request for me to engage in that. I would be happy to do it if the White House sent a message to me. I do work for the president. I serve at his pleasure. If anyone at the White House were to say to me, would you please go and make a case for it? But probably if that were to happen, it wouldn't come through the embassy as much as it would likely come from the Department of Justice at the U.S. in D.C. They would make the request. They might involve us, but they very likely would not.
Does it seem strange to you that people accused of child molestation in the United States are allowed to have refuge within the borders of our closest ally? That doesn't make sense to me.
Well, I would say that
if you've molested an American child, shouldn't you be required to stand justice?
It's an allegation. Let's be clear. One of the things about our system of jurisprudence, you're innocent until you're proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. So if the charges are there, should he be extradited? I would say so.
The charges are there.
Yeah. Okay. So they should be. But that's a Justice Department decision, and they're the ones who should be pursuing it. To my knowledge, they haven't. They certainly haven't engaged the U.S. Embassy over.
Why would the Israeli government harbor fugitives from justice in the United States?
I'm not sure that
there are dozens and dozens and dozens. In fact, there's an Israeli group that keeps track of them that is dedicated, Jewish Israeli group dedicated to combating the molestation of children, and keeps a long list. And you can look it up. And
Tucker, I hope you're not saying that you think the Israelis support the molestation of children.
Obviously, I'm not saying that.
Okay,
I'm saying that the Israeli...
They'll fucking cover it up, Mike Huckabee. Like, just don't play fucking games, bro. I think everyone in Trump's administration supports the fucking raping or sexual child trafficking of Epstein. No, but will they do their jobs and cover it the fuck up? Of course they would. Of course. Because they're lame brains. That's why they're there in the first place. Duh. Come on. What a dumb fucking question or statement. The fuck was that? Here we go.
Government
I fucking hate
allows
politics, dude.
shields accused child molesters
I'm not sure that
from justice.
I'm not sure I could say that that's something that is provable. I don't know. But I am not aware that the Israeli government is shielding people.
You obviously want to sleep well and
my
fashionably.
Fucking God, Tucker. I swear to God. This is horrendous so far, by the way. This is fucking horrendous. It's basically showing that Mike Huckabee should not be at all. He shouldn't be there. And I wonder if after this commercial, if Tucker grills hard, because he has plenty of room to dig harder on that, because the logic is not adding up. Logic is not, well, if they go through the proper channels to really do this and innocent until proven guilty, like, well, do you care about this topic? Do you want to know? Do you have the means to go find out, Mike Huckabee? Can you, if you have the means to find out and you find out there's something nefarious or something wrong happening there, would you call up the president? Hey, here's your ambassador to Israel. I can kind of get access to the government over here and like talk to someone to like find out about this guy. I should do that, right? No, I shouldn't.
This Nevada
I quit.
guy.
I'm done. I'm coming home. I quit. Click.
This Nevada guy, was he on bond then fled to Israel? Because
I believe so.
We dropped the ball on that. Now, if he fled to Israel and was charged in absentia, then that could be something else. But I mean, what was our responsibility in keeping him here? Is what I'm asking.
Fuck. With the judge, I forgot her name. Took a lot of flack for this too, where she allowed, like, people are like, yo, this guy's a flight risk because he's not from America, which makes him basically like a flight risk in regards to this. And he's like one of the higher up in regards to cybersecurity for the state of Israel. And somehow, I guess he got bond, right?
Yeah, so the U.S. has to take some blame in this too.
Oh yeah, for sure. Oh, for sure. The judge made a whole bunch of excuses for how this happened. But once it happens, you can make all excuses you want, essentially, right? Even if you, like, whether, I'm not saying this lady was in on it or not. I'm just saying, like, if she was in on it, if the guy gets away, like, oops, my bad, I fucked up. I'm sorry. You can say any words you want after that. Because will the U.S. actually be like, yo, get your ass back here and stand trial for this? Will they actually do that? I'm not so sure. Yeah. A lot of balls dropping, huh? Is this the same topic? I think it's the same topic. Here we go.
Well, they are, and I'll give you and I just want to make sure that I pronounce this man's name correctly. It's Tom, I believe, Alexandrovich. I think that's right, and I've written it down, but of course my handwriting is so terrible.
Now you say you can't know, Mike.
Read it,
Mike Huckabee.
But
never heard of him.
Yes, he is an Israeli, I believe, cybersecurity official who was at a conference in Las Vegas last year and was caught up in a sting designed to catch people soliciting sex from children. He was one of a number of people arrested for this. He was arraigned and charged. And then 2 days later, he fled to Israel and did his first hearing by Zoom. He was allowed for some reason to leave for a foreign country, having already been charged for a attempted molestation of a child, and he remains here now. And there have been many news stories about this, and I just wonder if you would ask the Israeli government to put him on a plane and send him back to face justice for attempting to molest an American child. It doesn't seem complicated.
No, I wouldn't mind doing that, but I want to find out if the Justice Department of the U.S. has already sought to extradite him. Is there anything in process? I don't know.
Why wouldn't they seek to extradite him?
I have no idea. That's a question for the Justice Department.
I have many questions for the Justice Department, like why are millions of Epstein files still classified? Why do you think that is?
I have no idea. I haven't kept up with that. I've never met the man. I don't know him.
You kept up with the Epstein
disclosure? Mike, you can't answer with that. That was too quick to do that. Wait till he asks you about. That's bad PR, Mike Huckabee. It's like this Epstein guy. Never heard of him. Never saw him before. Never talked. Never had dinner with him. Don't know the guy. I never heard about his really like cool like swimming pools or the island he has. Never heard about it. So like, what was the question? It's like you can't do that, Mike. You gotta be patient, bro. You gotta do PR stuff. Like, be patient. You just say that shit out loud. It's like he says he's not aware of the topic, but he's so quick to protect himself, like PR politically, which means he's aware of the fucking topic. He's quite aware of it. And he knows that's a toxic name to not attach yourself to. At the very least, right? Or it could be worse. Maybe he did have meetings or there are some emails with it. With this guy and him, or even worse, right? So this is gonna be interesting. The way he leapt out, like leaped out of his fucking chair, like I never met him. Who you talking about? NATO who? NATO Jacobs? I don't know NATO Jacobs. Who the fuck is that? There we go. Epstein, never heard of him.
Is there anything in process? I don't know.
Why wouldn't they seek to extradite?
I have no idea. That's a question for the Justice Department.
I have many questions for the Justice Department, like why are millions of Epstein files still classified? Why do you think that is?
I have no idea. I haven't kept up with that. I've never met the man. I don't know him.
You haven't kept up with the Epstein disclosure?
I mean, only from a distance. I'm 6,000 miles away from D.C. these days.
You have the internet.
I'm pretty sure that there's so much going on.
The current president of Israel, President President Herzog,
know him very well.
Apparently was at Pedo Island. That's what it says in the disclosures. And of course, we know that the former prime minister, Ehud Barak, was living on and off at Epstein's house. So still living high-level Israeli officials are directly implicated in Epstein's life, if not his crime. So I would think that you'd be following this.
I was not aware that there was any connection with President Herzog. I would be surprised to hear that, and I knew there was about the former prime minister, who apparently had a lot of dealings with Epstein.
Business dealings, and by the way, I'm not alleging anything, but I mean, it's in the Epstein files, and I don't know that I've heard the current president of Israel respond to it, but he is listed as a visitor to Pedo Island, so that's kind of a big
don't have to say
deal. I wonder, considering there are so many suggestions in the files, as I'm sure you know, of sexual abuse, and given that Jeffrey Epstein was a convicted sex offender, I wonder why the administration you work for would be holding millions of files, which I believe belong to the public, hidden for, quote, national security reasons. What would those national security reasons be, do you think?
Honestly, I think you've probably got more access to the White House sometimes than I do. You should ask them.
Yeah, well, but you're the government official representing that White House.
Oh my God! Did Mike Huckabee actually just get Tucker right there? It's like, yeah, you be there all the time, bro. Like, you ask him. He's like, I'm not an official, though. You are a so-called journalist, though, aren't you? And also the repeated state, like Pedo Island or Pedo Island, whatever the fuck. Like, come on, man. Make it official so that this guy can't run away. And other people can't just discredit you. Look, he's calling it Pedo Island. Is there any fucking direct, proven shit about pedophilia on Epstein Island? Huh? Is there? Right, they're going to use, like, technicality, so call it by its name. Like, oh, it's, what's it called? Not Little St. Is it Little St. James? I think there's Little St. James, and I think there's Big St. James as far as islands go.
Yeah, he had his little palace set up on Little St. James.
Yeah, but there's also a Big St. James that I believe he owns too, which is like attached to it, I think.
I think he had a Saudi Arabian, elite help him buy it too. It's kind of weird.
Oh yeah, that guy had fucking connections. But saying Pedo Island, like, you're gonna turn it cartoonish instead of like official, like a journalist type guy. But whatever. Either way, like, people get what he means when he says that. Fair enough. But he's also I mean, Mike Huckabee just kind of got you with that one, though. Yo, you're there more than I am. Like, you ask him. Well, I'm not an official. You're a human being, though, aren't you, Tucker? And if he gives you a bullshit answer, isn't that enough for him to be like, hey, guys, I asked him. This is what he told me. I think I'm done going there. He could do that. Or I'll go back and grill him even harder if he allows me. If he doesn't allow me, fine. I'll keep it moving and do my fucking show. But let's see where they go. Here we go.
To the public, hidden for, quote, national security reasons. What would those national security reasons be, do you think?
He's trying
Honestly,
to imply
I
Israel.
think you've probably got more access to the White House sometimes than I do. You should ask them.
You should.
Well, but you're the government official representing that White House.
In Israel. And I represent the U.S. in Israel to the Israeli government,
If you have
from
a
the
phone.
U.S. government. But honestly, nobody has presented that to us.
Well, now
we
that
have
you
a
know
pretty
that the-
dynamic situation here. I don't know if you know that or not, but there's a lot going on in this part of the world. And frankly, that has not been top line item.
But you're surprised to hear that the current president of Israel, whom you know, is listed as a visitor to Pedo Island.
Had never heard that. Never heard it even in the Israeli press.
Are you going to ask him next time you see him?
I'll be happy to. Talk to him almost every week.
I guess what I'm asking is not simply as a representative of my government or a high U.S. official, but just as like a man and a father and a Christian. How could you resist saying, like, were you on Pedo Island with Jeffrey Epstein?
Well, if I'm not
Oh, my
aware of it. And secondly, there are a lot of things that go on in the world. I don't question every single person about every single thing that may be
President
alleged
of the
about.
country. And
I
you
understand all that, but this is the first I've ever heard of this. So why do you expect me to have knowledge of something like that?
Well, because you attacked me personally for suggesting that Jeffrey Epstein had ties to Mossad, and you said that.
You think he does?
What's very clear he does from the
You
files.
think he does? From where do you get that?
Well, the fact that he was in contact repeatedly with members of the Israeli government, including the current president and the former prime minister, and all kinds of Israeli intel-connected people. I'm not saying he'd worked for Mossad. I don't think we know that. But there's no question that he had extensive contact with CIA.
But I think you said it, a turning point event. Everybody knows Jeffrey Epstein.
I said everyone thinks, and it turns out everyone was right, that he did have.
I'm not sure everyone was right or everyone thinks.
Okay, but you said that I was lying, and I don't want to make this about me.
I don't think I said you were lying, Tucker. I don't recall.
I'm just saying, why don't we release all the files, and then we don't need to guess?
I got no problem with that. Go ahead.
Would
but
you
it's
call
not
on
mine.
well, because you weighed in on it and said that this was not true, when of
I
course,
said there was no evidence.
well, there's quite a bit of evidence, but you haven't apparently bothered to read any of the files. Is that what you're saying?
I have not read the Epstein files. Apparently you have.
Well, they're on the internet. and
But
have
when
been
you
for a
say
month.
that everybody knows that Jeffrey Epstein was a Mossad
I
agent,
said everyone believes that.
I don't think everybody does. I don't know.
Well, everyone knows that he had contact with, and by the way, not just Israeli intelligence, American intelligence, which is much more distressing for me. I'm not Israeli, I'm American. I don't want my government having any contact with someone like Jeffrey Epstein. So the shame
I wouldn't either.
is on the United States, as far as I'm concerned, just to be totally clear about that.
I'm freezing.
Everyone's very sensitive about the Israel connection, not at all sensitive about the U.S. connection, which I find very revealing. we should care about what our government does first, I think. But since you weighed in on it and said there's no evidence, I'm surprised that since that evidence has been open to the public for a month, since you've already weighed in publicly on this question, that you've made no effort to evaluate that evidence. Why is that?
I just told you I was certainly not aware that there were some
would blow up.
specific allegations. I knew about the former prime minister, but I don't know him. Not sure I ever met him in my many times. You know, I've been to Israel over 100 times since 1973. The first time I came here was 1973, July. And it's almost 53 years of coming and going to this country.
Pause.
So I know the country well and know a lot of people here, but I don't know everything and I don't know everybody, but I do a lot of people.
Of course, no.
Listen, Mike, I'll say 30-minute scroll through Twitter and you'll have enough to where if you have a conscience about it and you look at where, like, right, you do the best you can with what you have. Well, the position you have right now, Mike Huckabee, is the ability to pick up the phone and say, yo, why aren't we doing anything about this? Why aren't we investigating this? On and so forth. Right? There's a whole bunch of different issues, right? I'm not the person that's like, oh my God, Epstein is the #1 fucking topic of all time, ever. No. They're all equal to each other. But that guy in that position, pause, who has the ability to pick up the phone and get right to the fucking president, 30 minutes on Twitter. Hey, is this real? That's all. Yo, DOJ, Trump, whoever. Is this, let me send you something. Let me text you this. Is that real? If it is real, what are we doing about this? Simple text message, right? On the side. If nothing happens, be like, well, hey guys, yeah. I quit. I'll see you guys later. Click. Hop on the plane, get out of there. Although your computer might blow up, Mike Huckabee. As soon as you go on Twitter and look it up, like, what? You'd be like, oh my God, what is this? Fucking monitor's gonna blow up in his face. Everything's rigged to explode. It's some spy shit. All right, let me reset because I was lagging really bad, right? Really badly right there. All right. Here we go. Like, that was an interesting exchange. Partially, like, looking at judge, like, who's jousting better in this exchange. But in reality, it's like, let's get to the bigger points here. And they both, yo, Tucker, you get to visit the White House, fucking say something. Kind of excuse that away. Like, Huckabee, you have access to the White House. Maybe not you directly there in person, but you have the internet, you have your phone, you have secretaries and assistants that can pass messages along. Like, you have all that, all access to that shit. So either one of them, no excuses, is what I'm getting at. That's at the core of these guys bickering back and forth with each other. Like, you said that. No, you said that. Here we go.
And I can see your love for it, and I think that's great. But I'm talking about the U.S. government and its responsibility to, there's a lot of complaint about conspiracy theories and everyone, he's a hater. Everyone's assigning motive. But there's a way to end these conversations very quickly with facts. And I'm highly confused by...
Have you brought this up to the president?
He goes back to it.
I mean, no, I don't work for him. I've said this many times.
I know you don't work for him, but you go to the White House and you see people there. You and J.D. Vance are very good friends. So have you brought this up to them? Because
I have brought this up in public many times.
It's not on my portfolio, but apparently it's very strongly on your mind. And I'm just thinking you should deal with it.
Child molestation is a significant concern for me.
Well, it should be for everybody. But if
there is a charged child molester.
But I'm saying if you are very involved in the details of this,
I'm not.
And you think it's the U.S. government that's hiding and shielding somebody, then bring it up to the people that you personally know.
I don't think that. I know it because the Justice Department has said we have millions of documents we're not releasing.
Why are they not releasing them?
I'm asking you as a U.S. government official what the answer might be.
A government official at the embassy in Jerusalem that has not one thing to do with the Justice Department and what they're investigating on any given day.
Again,
unless it involves...
And I don't want to argue or talk in circles, but you were the one who brought it up and said it's absolutely not true.
I was only.
This is embarrassing for both of them. This is extremely embarrassing for both of them. Like, he's calling your card, Tucker. Like, yo, yeah, why not bring it up? What the fuck? I'm not an official. So what? It's just only to be said on your show, but not when they're right next to you? That's some fucking coward shit, bro. It really is. Did fucking Mike Huckabee expose you like that? There we go. Okay, I'll let it.
Responding to what I've heard you say.
Okay, but now that you know there's evidence and we can settle this debate, you haven't looked at the evidence and you're not pushing for the release of the total corpus of evidence. And I'm confused because I want to believe that your goal is to get to the truth. And the fastest way to do that is by releasing the evidence. Don't you think?
You suggest that I can release the evidence?
I'm suggesting you could call for it right now.
Well, fine, call for it. Let's have it all open. I thought it was being all opened up for everything I
Once it's open, I hope you'll read it because it's really interesting, and then it puts to rest a lot of the debate, and it ends the name calling because we can say, here it is right there. And we don't have to call people names. We can just assess the documents. Let me ask you.
But you bring it up. I hope you will bring it up to people at the White House. That I'm
bringing it up right now. I'm bringing it up now, and I'm asking. I just want to say this one last time. As the U.S. ambassador to Israel, I hope that you will make a formal request to the Israeli government to send every accused sex offender in this country back to the United States to face justice. And I don't understand why that hasn't been done. I'm confused.
Well, we'll try to clear up all the confusion that we have.
Well, if someone's been accused of trying to molest a child, I think it's...
Then certainly, and I'll check with the Justice Department because it is a DOJ issue and it would be handled through DOJ, the U.S., to the court systems in Israel. That's how it would be handled.
But the first step is the Israeli government saying, yes, we will allow you to extradite this person back. The person is being shielded by the government. That's why the person's here. That's why he fled here, so he wouldn't have to stand trial for trying to molest a child. I want to get to as I said at the outset.
Was that not fucking ridiculous? I mean, two fucking wimps talking to each other. They both claim, like, yeah, child molestation, really bad. Both have access and the ability to say something, right? Before, where it's like maybe we don't know that Tucker has access to the White House. Maybe he's like pleading, "Hey guys, through my public program that a lot of people watch, a lot of your fans watch, Trump. So I'm pleading through my program. Please look into this stuff." But no, when we find out these guys are golfing together and fucking doing ceremonies together and shit like that, it's like you have no excuse. Talk to them directly. Hey, you can fucking text them just like Mike Huckabee could. And as he said, like, man, listen, I'm in an embassy in Israel. Like, what can I do? You think I can release the files? Then when Tucker brings up cybersecurity guys, like, well, listen, I'll make a call to the DOJ. Like, wait a minute. You just said you don't have access like that to do that. You're a lonely old fucking ambassador for, in Israel. It's like nonsensical. I just saw two grown men make excuses for themselves with each other. As it's like a power battle between the two of them when it's like, isn't the topic bigger than you two fucking dingbats? Christ's sakes, man. This is what I walked into. Let me see what this topic is, because like I said, I'm going to skip around. Let me see where they're at here. Hey, what the fuck? Whatever. Is the Israel of the Bible the current secular government of Israel? Okay, that's getting skipped. Is Israel's Christian population declining? Not important. No offense. It's all important, but it's like I'm not looking for that shit right now. Who has a right to the land of Israel? Okay. The killing of Christians in Gaza. Is that more of a... Now, once again, is that for the sake... Why is it about Christians? They're killing Gaza, Palestinian Jews too. Palestinian atheists, Palestinian Muslims. They're all getting killed too. That's happening. So like, why is such like a flagpole like way to go about the topic? Isn't it about like Tucker said, like, hey, child molestation. There's no like whoever does it, whatever creed does to whatever other creed. It's all about like that act alone is the bad thing. Same thing with killing in this way. What happened in Gaza? Okay, let's see this. Let's see Mike Huckabee dance. Benjamin Netanyahu's call for genocide. Let's watch him dance. And also, I want to see this, too. With the Tony Aguilar guy. He worked for the GHF, the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, where, like, yeah, there's nothing but, there's, like, a bunch of disgusting things happening. Killing innocent civilians en masse while searching for food. I mean, like, bottom of the barrel disgusting. And he was a witness to it. And I wonder, well, okay, I guess he accuses him of lying. Well, let's see if he can justify it. But let's start with the Netanyahu calls for genocide. Here we go. There we go.
Let me just say, I think, and I know a bunch of people serve in the IDF, and I don't believe your average IDF soldier wants to kill innocents. I just want to be really clear about that. I don't think most soldiers want to do that.
Yeah.
I think a lot of them
are
our
dumb
country
kids that are ignorant
in
of what they're
Israel
doing.
wind up doing that because that's what war is about, and it really hurts them. And I know people who've done it personally, know them really well, and it like wrecks their lives.
Supposed to be relaxing right now, bro.
So, but I don't think your average soldier wants that in this country or any other. The leadership is a different question, and I want to refer you very specifically to a number of speeches the Prime Minister, your friend Benjamin Netanyahu, gave in the aftermath of October 7th, including one in November of that year, when he referred to Amalek. Now, Amalek is a reference, a biblical reference, so of course you'll be very familiar with that. The Amalekites were a tribe described throughout the Bible, particularly in 1 Samuel, that obstructed the Jews as they fled Egypt. And God tells Samuel to give the instructions to Saul to kill the Amalekites. And he says, and I'm sure you remember this is in 1 Samuel 15, of course, I know you know it. He says, kill the men, kill the women, kill the children, kill the infants, kill the donkeys, kill the camels, kill everything. And Saul spares the king and he spares the animals. And for that, he is punished by God. That is genocide. God is calling for genocide of the Amalekites, of Amalek. And the Prime Minister of Israel, at least once, I believe on other occasions, described the Palestinians in Gaza as Amalek. That's calling for genocide. And you know that.
I totally disagree.
Tell me then what it means.
Because to say that Israel was attempting to commit genocide, first of all, that's simply not true.
I'm saying, what is the Prime Minister talking about? Why would he refer to the Palestinians as Amalek? What is Amalek?
You would have to ask him. I don't know. I know what Amalek is. I do understand 1 Samuel 16. I get all
15.
that.
1 Samuel 15.
But I do understand.
And it's widely known. So if you say our enemy is Amalek and we are proceeding on the basis of God's commands to us, you are calling for genocide. Tell me how I'm missing something.
Because if Israel wanted to commit genocide, they could have done it in 2.5 hours.
We can debate what's happened in Gaza. I'm asking you why the leader of this country.
That's straight from Netanyahu's mouth. We've heard that before. If we were to do a genocide, we'd wipe them out in one day because we're so big and strong and powerful. It's like, yeah, but you don't want that PR mess on your hands. See, what you do is you justify it. And you say, oh, no, we're not targeting civilians. We're just targeting this terrorist that's surrounded by 1,000 civilians. That's what we're doing. This one terrorist guy, this one bad Hamas terrorist guy, we're going to kill the entire neighborhood to get that one guy.
Bro, we don't negotiate with terrorists.
Oh, shut up. It's as indiscriminate as it fucking gets. And I mean a lack of care for other human beings. It's blatant. It's blatant. Now, some of these soldier guys, IDF guys, whatever, they're like, yeah, cool, let's do it. Let's run them the fuck over. And very apathetic about it. Some people are maybe had a little bit more tenderness to their hearts, before, but then they got the taste of war and lost that care and got locked in. And you have kids just like thinking they're just willy-nilly shooting bullets in the air. Like, oh, it's an empty area. No one's here. I'm just shooting bullets. Whatever. I'm just shelling a building because like there's no one in there, right? I'm just fucking around with guns. And some of those bullets go out to the sea and plop, fucking hit someone. In fact, a big thing that happens in war, and especially not even especially in modern war. Any type of warfare is to get your soldiers used to killing, so they don't flinch when the time comes. Get them used to it. I hope that's maybe a little bit more modern warfare or less like in your face about doing that. But some guys are like they're locked in, and some commanders want them to be like that. We want you to like be able to just easy trigger, right? Pull the trigger easy. And it's like I'm telling you, it's all the stories I saw in regards to Gaza. It's as indiscriminate as it gets. It's not even like uncaring for the civilian population. It's we'll kill you too. Who cares? We'll kill you too. We're okay with that because you're one of the bad guys. It was like for devil worshipping motherfuckers, it became Christmas. You guys attacked us like this? Damn, we have free range to do whatever the fuck we want now. Your schools, your hospitals, your kindergartens, fuck it. You're the bad guy. We get to fucking take you out. And they're still doing it to this fucking day. I mean, like, just absolutely, just dehumanizing another population. I almost guarantee you, once again, not trying to go there in like an Asmund Gold way, but like, it's gotten so bad that if the other team, if the other side had the ability to fuck them up, fuck Israelis up, it would happen. I think they might do it. Some are a lot more, there's a lot of heart, and that happens everywhere, right? There's a lot of heart from people in Gaza. There's heart from people in fucking Israel, but they're never listened to. Instead, it's Hamas rolling someone up and just executing them in the middle of the street because they're not loyal. And yeah, these kids in Israel getting their faces bashed in because they're not fucking loyal. But don't worry. Listen, we're not killing them, though. We're killing those guys over there. They're real bad guys. Which ones? Whoever steps in front of our guns. They're the bad guy. Yeah, it's that bad. So these answers you're going to hear from Mike Huckabee are going to be, I mean, out of your mind ridiculous. There's no more excuses of like, wait a minute. I don't have that. I'm not in Washington. I can't talk to the White House. That's out the fucking window. You're the U.S. ambassador in Israel. And if you're not digging through every little piece of data you can get your fucking hands on, you're out of your fucking mind. You're callous to it. It could be religious, but I don't believe that fool, bro. He doesn't know Christ. Sorry. He doesn't. Let's play. Here we go.
Country.
Ask him.
Well, what do you think?
I don't know.
Does that bother you at all?
You don't know that?
People, I don't know what he meant. I don't know if it was an illustrative metaphor. I think
I'm sorry, Tucker bringing that, like, just go directly to it, Tucker. Go directly to the actual thing that's happening. I understand if you're trying to appeal to the religious thing that, like, say, like, hey, you have no excuse. He brought up a religious thing, and the religious thing means something bad. But at some point, hopefully he does when it comes to the Anthony Aguilar or Tony Aguilar story. Hopefully he looks at it like, okay, now here's the actual on-the-ground stories that exist. What do you think about that? And watch him dance and make excuses. There we go.
what he was saying was that we're not going to let anything keep us from getting our hostages back, their sons and their daughters, who are being brutalized, raped, tortured,
Israelis
starved,
are protesting
beaten.
that. Come on,
Mr.
Not
Mills.
everyone.
No, I think-
There are many examples of justice in the Bible, but there are
Israel
very
gets
few.
accused of genocide regularly.
I'm not accusing Israel of anything. I'm saying that
But
the
they
prime
didn't.
minister of Israel described the
Do you
Palestinians
think he
as Amalek.
attempted to do genocide?
Yes.
I'm asking why, of all the references in the Bible, and there are many to justice, and there are many to reconciliation, that is a reference to genocide, as you know, killing every man, woman, child, and infant, I'm quoting, and their animals, wiping them from the earth. And when they don't do that, they're punished. When you say that at the outset of a war, and then you wind up with massive civilian casualties, maybe not as big as they were in Iraq, then I have to ask you, what is that? And is that kind of thinking consistent with Western values and with Christianity? Do we as Christians believe
Iraq
it's
took
okay
20 years.
to kill people's children?
Difference.
No, we don't. And neither do the Israelis, because they didn't go after their children. If they'd have wanted to kill all their children, Tucker, they've got the military capacity. They could have done it in less than a day.
I've heard you say that.
I know.
I mean, I guess
So
they could have done
them.
Okay, but
why didn't they? Why didn't they?
I think there are a lot of decent people in Israel who don't want that. But I'm talking.
Do you think that the prime minister wanted to wipe out every single person in Gaza? Do you
I'm
really
asking
think that?
you.
I'm saying it. Yes. Yes. Him and some other people within that government, and even in the population. Yes, they do. Now, is it like, let's just kill all of them? It could be like, either kill them or you guys leave. Yes, that's what it, directly looks like. Directly looks like. Now, I don't understand people don't realize, like, they'll think like, oh my God, 4 or 5% is not that many people. Like, yes, it is. Like, think of millions. 4 or 5% of them, that's a lot of fucking people. In 2.5 years. Not over 20 years. 2.5 years. That is, basically by definition, fucking genocide. Are you fucking kidding me? Of course they were fucking doing that on purpose. It's fucking obvious. Did every Israeli know that was going on? Probably not. Did some stand against it? Yes, but not enough. And the dingbats that were cheering it on didn't fucking know a thing. But it's a simple fucking, what's it called? The veil of ignorance. Hey, person in Israel that's supporting this, if I take you and switch you with someone in Gaza, you guys switch places, you'd be like, oh shit, this is bad. They're trying to kill us. Oh, now you get it. But unfortunately, we don't have magic powers to make that happen. Well, we do, called the imagination and empathy. But, and these little creepers in the government take advantage of that, of these motherfuckers' ignorance of everything, apparently. There's no doubt about it, they have targeted civilians. And they walk away and say, oh, we thought they were Hamas the whole time. Bullshit. How large is the Hamas fucking military? What did Douglas Murray say? Every 2 to 3 houses, every second or third house, there is a Hamas booby trap. Thus, we have to blow the fucking house up. You make that make sense. Like, damn, Hamas must have like a super duper massive fucking army then. Why'd they retreat? They should have just fucking ran Israel over. They got so many fucking soldiers. But let's be real. When they want to justify a killing, they say, oh, we thought they were Hamas, or they are Hamas. No matter if they have press across their fucking chests, right, and letters press, or they have a red crescent, which is the same as the Red Cross, same organization, whether they have the UN on their fucking helmets, whether they're clearly driving an ambulance, whether it's clearly a hospital, but they'll say, oh, Hamas was in the basement, so we had to blow up the top floors of the hospital. It's blatant. It's clear as day. And Tucker, you need to move on from the fucking Bible references and go right to stories like that. And if he fucking said, oh, well, they were Hamas, then you know. There's your IQ test for Mike Huckabee. There it is. Now you know. Okay, you got it. No matter what I say, you're going to have an excuse for it, aren't you? That's not honesty. That's not Christian, is it? Imagine Jesus is standing behind Mike Huckabee as he's saying these answers. He'd change real quick, wouldn't he? I'm just saying. Let's play. Watch this clusterfuck. Here we go.
what you think is the U.S. representative
Yeah.
of our government.
I don't think
this.
that that's what he wanted to do.
Did
because
you ask
he
him?
could've-
Why are you
I
referring?
never had to ask him that.
Why?
Because
Still on the
I
fucking
never
biblical
saw
stuff,
any
like, what are we
evidence that Israel tried to wipe out every single person. I just gave you examples
But
that
it's
they
not,
tried to save civilian lives.
But I'm not.
and they
by the
didn't.
way, I'm not. As I've said, and I mean this. I think most soldiers in most armies, including the Israel Defense Force, don't want to kill civilians. I just don't believe that. I think there are some lunatics.
Can
who
I
do.
ask you something?
Yes.
You platformed a guy, you had him on your show, Tony Aguilar.
I agree, but if you turn them into all terrorists, like, yeah, the ambulance drivers, you turn them into, like, we thought they were fucking Hamas, so we shot them up. And there's no repercussions for it other than your commander getting in trouble. Not even getting in trouble. He just gets fired and moves to a different battalion. Come on. Come on, man. You would hope the soldiers would wake up at some point in regards to that. Some have, and have become whistleblowers in regards to it, but who's going to hear them? Who's going to print their fucking stories? Few and far between. Because the higher apparatus has a fucking agenda. And it sits place in Tel Aviv. It sits place in fucking Washington. It sits place in fucking wherever. Fucking Dubai. Wherever. Like all over the fucking place. Concentrated efforts by creepy motherfuckers to destroy not just Gazans, not just people in West Bank, but regular people everywhere. You're all getting fucked. A lot of people don't see that, but you're getting fucked too. Here we go.
Lunatics.
Can
who
I
do.
ask you something?
Yes.
You platformed a guy, you had him on your show, Tony Aguilar.
Don't platform anyone. I
Well,
interview people.
you interviewed.
Not a liberal,
Tony
so I don't
Aguilar.
platform people.
Okay, you interviewed Tony
Yeah.
Aguilar, who claimed that IDF soldiers killed a little boy in his presence.
Uh-huh.
That didn't happen.
Okay.
It did not happen.
I don't
And here's-
know.
let me
I
give you
don't
the
know
Aguilar,
if you know
debunked that.
whether it happened or not.
Well, I
mean,
can tell you
he
why
was-
I know it didn't happen.
Okay.
Because we found that little boy less than a week later.
All right.
I was involved, heavily involved, in helping to extricate him from Gaza. 4 different countries were involved in getting he and his mother to safety, get them out of there. Tony Aguilar is a liar.
Okay.
Tony
Now, Tony Aguilar's story was apparently, like, he's saying, yeah, they're saying that this was the kid. This was not the kid. This was not the kid I was talking about. But they keep saying it's this kid. That's what Mike Huckabee's doing. I mean, at this point, he sounds more like a mouthpiece for the fucking Israeli government than the U.S. I'm being honest with you right now. That's the way it sounds right now. We went over the stories. We saw his evidence. He took photos. Tony Aguilar took, I think he was aware, like, damn, something's not right here, and I'm going to take pictures of everything, like gather evidence, essentially. And the kid that he showed in his pictures was not the kid that these guys showed as, like, yeah, this is not, see, look, the kid's alive, see? Also, Mike Huckabee skipping all the other atrocities that Tony Aguilar was bringing up. I recommend watching and listening to that interview with Tucker Carlson, amongst other places. The guy seems like pretty thorough and diligent about what he talks about. He names locations. He names events. He says, I have picture evidence. He shows it. On and on, what he can show. On and so forth. And also, it begs the question, like, what about, was the kid that Tony Aguilar alleged got killed, is he the only death in this place? How do you explain the other deaths of unarmed people? People unarmed, searching for food. They went outside the line. So I get to kill them now. Oh, okay. Got it. For safety. They went outside the lines. Shoot them. Kill them. Unarmed. There's no excuse for it, but I'd love to see him like try to make that one. Here we go.
Aguilar claimed that he saw an IDF soldier shoot the little boy. He was fired from the GHF for cause, and he begged for his job back, and they wouldn't give it back because they didn't want him. And he told them that if they didn't give his job back, that he would burn them down.
Okay.
So he goes out. No, let me finish this because it's important for you to understand.
Right.
So this guy then goes out and makes up this story that he witnessed IDF soldiers shooting a little boy.
I don't know that he made it up. He seemed to believe it to me. It's possible he's wrong. I've been wrong many times.
Well, this is a little bit more than just missing a fact. He claimed to be an eyewitness to the murder of a little boy.
Okay.
A little boy that a week later we found.
And you're sure it's the same little boy?
We're absolutely
How
certain.
do you know that?
Because we had pictures of him. We had descriptions of him. We know his name. We know his mother.
Okay.
He was extricated out of Gaza. It was a very delicate situation to get him out because if Hamas had found out that he was still alive, they would have killed him in order to validate Aguilar's story.
How do you know that?
So
How
he
do
gets
you
out.
fucking make that?
How do you know?
How do you make that theory? I'm sorry. I'll let him explain. Go ahead. Here we go. What the fuck?
In order to validate Aguilar's story.
How do you know that?
So he gets out.
How do you know Hamas would have killed him?
Why wouldn't they? Wouldn't they have wanted to kill him? Because that way they could have said that this story was true.
Look,
that Aguilar. I'm just telling you that
what
this
you're
kid
saying is
alive
true, and I have
today.
no basis of knowing.
Yeah.
I'm really glad because I don't
Good.
want little kids to get killed, even 14-year-olds. Okay.
You shouldn't want anyone to
But
get
let
killed.
me ask you: is it true? He also made the claim, and he had audio of it and video too, that U.S. contractors were using live ammunition to disperse crowds, and he had video of that. Do you know did he make up that video?
There were times, here's what happened. Crowds would come toward the sites. They were given verbal warnings, and then they were given additional verbal warnings, and shots were fired either in the air, sometimes in the ground. And if they continued to come and threaten, there were times when there were people who were engaged in firefights. That happened.
Oh, they were armed?
Sometimes they were.
They were. Do you know of specific instances where they were armed?
Yeah, which ones?
I can probably get you some specific information about that.
I think I know the answer to that. I don't think there's any evidence at all that they were
But
armed.
I also know that
Are you okay with using live ammunition at aid distribution sites for families, women, and
Well,
children?
very rarely did this happen near.
How about
aid
at all?
distribution.
Are you okay with that?
No. I'll tell you what I'm not
seem like
okay
you're
with.
okay with
No. I think you are so trying to put words in my mouth. and that's
You
that's
said that they
very-
were firing back, but then there's no evidence that they were.
On a Sunday afternoon, I can remember when there was widespread reports on BBC, CNN, and the New York Times, and they said that 27 people were killed at a feeding site. We had video extensively over that site. Not one single person, not only were they not shot, nobody was shot at.
It never happened.
There was not one bit of violence that happened at that feeding site.
Trying to get me to defend BBC? Not going to do that. It's like
hope
defending Hamas. I agree with you. I don't believe anything I see in the media. It's just that it's really simple. If people are using, and these were American contractors, by the way, these are not Israelis that I'm aware of. American contractors run by some crypto minister or something was running the group. If they're using live ammunition at an aid distribution site, that strikes me as totally unacceptable.
They were not firing.
Does
at
it seem
crowds.
acceptable to you?
They were not firing
If
at crowds.
people got killed.
When he said they shot at the ground, you mean their feet? What if you miss? Also, let's be real. Behind those GHF workers, right, Gaza Humanitarian Foundation guys, behind them is the IDF, and they're firing into the crowds as well. And of course, the excuse was they're firing at their feet. They're just just puffs of sand. That's all they're doing, just hitting the ground. Like, but man, people keep dying. How does that keep out? Like, how does that keep out? Wouldn't you like learn after a while? Like, man, maybe we can't do that. Also, there's the idea of firing over their heads, right? Let's shoot over their heads. They're hitting people that are way in the back somewhere. Maybe over, like, even over like a ridge line where they're getting hit. But it doesn't matter. There's your, like, I mean, I'm sure Tucker's aware already, but like, there's the IQ test. No matter what you say, there will be an excuse, a reason. There will be, hey, their bullets were made of love, and because love hates bad, the love bullets will find the haters and take them out only. It'll skip around the innocent people and find the haters. It's absurd. But that's as magical as that, what I just said sounds. That's what they're doing. That's what Mike Huckabee's doing. To, once again, a pretty large American audience. their representative will lie to them straight up to protect someone who, like, once again, they're all about all America, right? To protect someone who's not American. And for me, it's not about America. It's about right and wrong. And he's a fucking liar. A fucking liar protecting shitty things happening. Which means he doesn't know Christ. He's a fucking devil worshiper, in my humble opinion. I think he knows he's lying, too. Here we go.
There's a way
And
to...
some of those people got killed because Hamas were trying to keep them from getting to the aid distribution sites because Hamas was controlling the food.
Right.
Hamas made $500 million selling the food that was supposed to be given away for free.
Defend Hamas.
And what they were trying to do is to keep people from going to the sites where they were getting food for free. When we set GHF up,
Hamas
the
bad,
first thing that
BBC
happened,
bad.
I know,
Agreed.
but I'm telling you, the first thing that people said was, wow, this is the first time we've had food that we got for free.
Is it
Because they
okay
had
to
buy
shoot
it.
unarmed people?
I just told you it wasn't.
That's awful.
Yeah.
It's awful.
Yeah, and those people are extremely underfed, and they still are underfed. During GHF sites, underfed. Almost like cattle, like rounded up in a certain, like, caged area to get crumbs. For enough food that would last a regular like a regular society person, a day or two? Most, a day or two? And they're supposed to use that and come back, 2 weeks from then. Or whatever the time period was. Extremely underfed. And it's like, yo, how could you look at that and be like, and make excuses for it? Got the Michael Tracy. How can you stare at that shit and be like, I'll make an excuse for this? How could you do that at the core, at your heart? How could you do that? And it's like, these guys are on some other fucking shit. Sorry for repeating this 10 million times, but it is what it is. It's infuriating. There we go.
Of course it's awful.
Are all lives equal, do you think?
Of course they are.
Yes,
So the death of a Palestinian is every bit as important, significant as the death of Israel.
Why wouldn't it be? Of course it is.
I don't know.
Of course it is. There's no such thing as a human soul that God made that is less valuable than another. I'm pro-life.
Me too.
So I believe that every life has intrinsic worth and value. There's no such thing as a worthless or a completely disposable life. That's what makes me pro-life, Tucker.
I totally agree.
And I believe that from the conception until the end of natural life.
That's why I would never say when confronted with the death of children, war is terrible, because it minimizes the deaths of those children. It's awful. And
I don't think it minimizes. I think it is
War is
outrageous. It's a terrible thing. I wish we never had war. Why do we have war?
We're about to have one with Iran, it looks like. How many Americans do you think will die in that war?
I hope none.
All right, at the reset, because I'm curious about those too. About the reset, flagging. Oh, man. Wait, but how about Iranians? Do you hope none of them die too? Well, yeah. They're different humans, all of a sudden. They're terrorists.
It's a terrible thing. I wish we never had war. Why do we have war?
We're about to have one with Iran, it looks like. How many Americans do you think will die in that war?
I hope none. None died last year when we participated in the 12-day war. Not one.
My sense
You said
is-
20,000 would die, and they didn't.
I said could, and they could have. And
But
they
they didn't.
could die now, and that's a real risk.
How many
for-
boots on the ground do you think the U.S. has supplied for Israel over the course of its life? How many times have we put soldiers on the ground for Israel?
Well, we had the Iraq War, which was for Israel.
No,
I
it
think
wasn't
it's
for Israel.
How was it for us?
Well, because it was a retribution against 9/11. Now, was it the best idea?
Was Iraq involved in 9/11?
Our government thought so.
Why are 9/11 documents still classified?
I have no idea.
Should they be unclassified?
I think so.
All of them, right?
I have no problem with that.
Me too.
I like transparency. I like sunlight.
I do. Too. I hope you'll call for that.
I like free press. I like free speech.
I totally agree.
I like all of that.
But if there was no connect, I'm open to anything, but I've never seen any connection between the government of Saddam Hussein, the secular Ba'athist government of Saddam Hussein and the terror attacks of 9/11?
I don't know that there were. I don't know.
Right. So
I'm not sure, but I don't know how.
So why
was that Israel's fault?
Well, Benjamin Netanyahu, now prime minister, of course, exerted lots of pressure openly on the U.S. government to regime change the Saddam government. I was there. It was in Washington. And they complied. I don't think there's any way to read it.
Do you think Israel leads the U.S. and pushes them and tells them what to do?
Well, not on everything, of course.
Do you think?
Let me be specific.
Okay.
I think the Israeli government strongly pushed the United States to take out Saddam Hussein. There's no question about that. I think the Israeli government right now, under Bibi Netanyahu, who's been in the White House 7 times in 1 year, pushing for regime change in Iran. I think they're on the verge of convincing this administration to affect regime change.
You think the president is weak and is being pushed?
I'm not saying that. I know. I know the president's being pushed. Why do you think a foreign leader was in the White House 7 times in 1 year? Are you okay with that?
He's not weak. Or sorry, he is weak, but he's just with it. I don't think it's about pushing or pulling or anything like that. I think it's, we're doing this. Is this the plan? Is the plan? Yeah, trust the plan. Yeah, I'm with it. Let's fucking do it. Or, listen, we're going to do this, okay? Let's do it. Doesn't matter who came up with the fucking scheme, the hustle. The point is, I think he's just with it. But he's a weak person. Sucks for him. I'd be like, hey, man, you could do better than this, but as a human being, but these are weak people. These are weak, dumb people. I know people are like, what? They have to be smart. How'd they get here? Trust me, these are dumb motherfuckers. They show you how dumb they are. But all right, here we go.
That's a lot.
Israel is not just a friend or an ally. It is a real partner. We have an incredible relationship with Israel in intelligence and in military, in culture, in values. To be shocked that the Israeli prime minister would have that many meetings, it's a lot. But I want to ask you the question. Do you think President Trump is weak enough to let Bibi Netanyahu push him into something that he doesn't want to do?
I don't. Look, I think, and I don't know, of course, the answer to every question, including this one, but I think that President Trump really doesn't like nuclear proliferation, and I don't think he wants Iran to have a bomb. I think he really sincerely means
I hope
that.
you don't want them to have a bomb.
I don't believe him.
Want them to have a bomb? I don't want anyone to have a bomb, including Israel. I don't know why we're okay with Israel having nuclear weapons. I'm not. I'm not okay with Pakistan having them. I'm not okay with Saudi having them. Israel's nuclear weapons were created, of course, with nuclear material stolen from the United States, from a nuclear plant in Pennsylvania, as I know you know. I'm opposed to all of it. I don't like nuclear weapons. It's mass murder, as far as I'm concerned. So no, I don't want Iran to have a bomb, obviously. The question is, what are the potential costs? And you have to factor that into any decision. And
what are the costs if they were to get a nuclear bomb? They've said for 47 years, death to America.
Well, I don't think
they target us.
I don't think
they've targeted President Trump specifically.
Yeah, I mean,
they've hired a person to assassinate
Iran, BBC, and Hamas not defending him.
Good.
We're in agreement on that. Our country is not thriving.
Liar. Mike Huckabee is a fucking liar. Tucker doesn't have the balls to call that out, so that's we're stuck here suffering through. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, all right. We're forced to. So you have to stick through that. It's like, this guy's a liar. That's the real crux of the situation. You're a fucking liar, aren't you? Listen, if hey, Mike Huckabee, if I was your best friend, I'd say, hey man, you're fucking lying, aren't you? You're lying to me. Why would you lie to me? He can get up and this interview's over and storm out of the fucking room. But nonetheless, you're still a fucking liar, dude. There's no way around it. Everything I've heard him say in regards to counterpoints to questions from Tucker are fucking talking points that you hear other motherfuckers say. And there's no fucking way you're all mind warped in that direction like that on repeat. There's no fucking chance. Even when motherfuckers were locked into MAGA or locked into fucking whoever, Obama or AOC or whoever the fuck, right? Even when they're locked into that, they at least come up with their own version of it. This guy's just word for word repeating shit we've heard in other creepy places. So this guy screams liar to me. And I'm sure there's plenty of Tucker fans, just like there's plenty of Dave Smith fans, just like there's plenty of whoever else. Where I'm like, yo, how can you get to debating when the guy's going to lie to you? Isn't that the crux of the discussion? It's like, yo, this guy's a liar. That's what you like actually walk away with, in my humble opinion. If you don't get through, if you can't get to that, like, what are we doing? And at the same time, still, Mike Huckabee gets a point because Tucker can hang out at the White House and not say a fucking word about this. Not a fucking word. But I told the audience, and I questioned Israel. Good for you, pal. Did you question the guy that's going along with everything Israel's doing? Did you question him? Of course not. In fact, even during his public, as he says, I talk to the public. Even in that sense of things, you don't really bring up Trump. You'll bring up Bondi or Patel or Mike Huckabee or Ted Cruz. But you leave that fool out of it. It's like, what is your fucking point then? But don't worry, your fans will say, Tucker's questioning Israel. Shut up, Jordan. He's questioning Israel. Have you ever done that? Huh? Like, we're in upside down world, bro. Like, wake the fuck up. Wake the fuck up. Here we go.
And we're spending, tens and tens and tens of billions of dollars over time defending Israel and helping it prosecute all
Do you know
these.
where that money goes?
It goes to a lot of places.
But let's talk about that a minute. $3.8 billion a year. That money goes right back to the U.S. to purchase weapon systems.
Oh, shit.
For example, every round of ammo that the IDF shoots is manufactured just outside where I live in Little Rock, Arkansas. The components, a lot of them for the Iron Dome and the Arrow 3 missile defense systems are manufactured near Camden, Arkansas.
Which needs it, by the way. Camden's economically depressed.
You know the area.
I do.
And
so we give them payloads of money. They buy back from private companies, right? Private companies. It's not you. It's not Bob on the street. It's not Jane on the street. These are private companies, right? These are private Americans, private companies. And then a percentage of that comes back into the, I guess will trickle down one day and through taxes, whatever, a sales tax or their income tax or their corporate tax will somehow like once again, percentages of that payload we gave away will make its way back to us somehow. Once again, he's just repeating a mixture of the White House and the Knesset. A mixture of the two. I say Knesset, Likud Party, whatever. The creepy crawlers and creepy crawlies in Israel. Like, come on. He made that sound like America, like directly to Americans. Like, no, a few amounts of America, a small amount. But where's the money being pulled from? All of us. Duh. They're pulling it from all of us. Imagine paying someone, imagine giving someone $20 to give you $2. I purchased $2 with $20. That's what you're getting. And Huckabee's calling it a success for America. Incredible. He thinks you guys are fucking stupid. He thinks you're dumb. He thinks you're stupid. He's like, I'm just going to play these fools. But he's probably like, yeah, I'll just do this interview. Just to say I did it. Like, look, I took the toughest questions. No big deal. Walk away with a fucking feather in his cap. Meanwhile, he actually said nothing. That's the point. To stagger you and distract you while he lies to you. To get you to look past blatant corruption. I mean, blatant as it gets. From war, genocidal fucking war, to economics, to relations, to I don't like war, but those guys are terrorists. As he's selling the thing that he doesn't like, apparently, in his own words, right? And if anyone questions it, you get discredited. Yeah, Mike Huckabee. The all-American soldier, Tony Aguilar, cannot stand up to Mike Huckabee, the beacon of fucking integrity, huh? The all-American soldier, Mike Huckabee. He put his body in front of your kids to shield them from bullets. No, he fucking wouldn't. Here we go. There's more from this fucking loser.
There are thousands and thousands of American jobs, and there are billions and billions of dollars.
It's trickling down to you guys. It'll reach you one day.
Expenditures that
Maybe your kids, but
makes in the U.S. and buys the things that we.
I know how defense contracting works. I'm from Washington.
Okay.
No, I know this. I guess what I'm saying is America's not thriving at all. And
you think it's Israel's fault?
I don't think it's Israel's fault.
Jake, what are you?
I
just think that what we're doing isn't working at all. And America's not richer.
I think the president is doing some amazing things to get us back on track.
I'm not attacking Trump.
Okay.
I'm merely saying that over, say, the last 20 years, America's not gotten richer or freer at all. And I come to Israel and the infrastructure, we were flying in, and I said to my buddy, I was like, man, first of all, it looks great. I love the agriculture in Israel because it's beautiful. I love green. I love plants.
I remember when it didn't look like that.
Yeah.
First time I came here 53 years ago.
It's great.
It did not look like that.
Great. Looks a lot nicer than our country. And it has higher standard of living. It has nicer roads.
Healthcare.
Than the United States. And so it's like, okay, why are we sending all this money to a country that has a higher standard of living than ours?
I don't know that they have a higher standard of living.
They do, actually. They have free health care. They also have free abortion. Are you okay with that?
I personally don't like that.
Why would we be subsidizing? Why would we send any money?
Not.
Why would we send any money to a country that provides free abortion?
Because the money that we send does not pay for health care. It does not pay for abortion. It pays for military things.
It's like if they don't spend it on this, they'll spend it on that.
But they do spend it on that, and then we get many more times back in the return on investment.
Why don't we say we're not sending you any more money as long as you have free abortion?
Well, that would be a policy decision.
I would be for that.
I would be okay with it because I hate abortion. I think it's horrible.
How much do you hate it?
I hate it a lot.
Why are we sending them money if they're paying for free abortion?
Because they're not paying for abortions with the money. And because we, in turn, get billions of dollars. The return on investment is estimated somewhere between 400 and 1,200%.
I've heard these numbers. I just live there, and I know, and I'm...
How's that return?
I'm for...
Tucker, ask him to explain. How are you getting 400 to 1,200% return on investment? How is that the case? Explain it to us. Now, if he means projected over a period of time when the jobs trickle down to the average person, it'll pay off for our country. Or does he mean, once again, if you look at the whole GDP itself, right? And let's say a couple of already filthy rich billionaires make a couple more billions, it looks like, oh my God, look, our economy grew. See, look, because the people that occupy this country, the average money went up. Meanwhile, it's like, no, it's like a few hands that get that shit. Not the average person. Not the average person. And guess what? If war goes away, those things go away. So is there a vested interest in keeping those things going? I wonder. Maybe they'll close up shop one day. Who knows? Maybe. But in the meantime, right now, guess what? If you're a private prison owner, crime is good. Crime is very good. Money-wise, right? Not saying character, money-wise. But then again, what are the type of characters that are occupying these spaces? Yeah. Yum. Let's keep going. Here we go. This is very interesting. Interesting to reflect off of. But it's just don't be a lame brain. You can see through this, right, guys? I hope. Audience members. Here we go.
American manufacturing, the defense industry is totally corrupt and seedy, as you know. However, I like to see American companies thrive. It's complicated. I'm not an extremist or an absolutist on really anything other than abortion. However, net, as we say, our country's not really thriving. And we're also totally broke.
Why is that the case? Is it because we've done a lousy job controlling our borders, a lousy job of controlling our economy? It's a lot of things.
Yeah.
But we own that. I think President Trump is doing remarkable things to turn it around. I cannot imagine any president.
Trump.
I know, but if you're saying the country is in trouble, let's
saying we're out of money. Actually,
let's
is what I'm
credit to what the president is doing to get us out of debt, because I think that what he's doing economically.
I'm not supporting Hamas, and I'm not attacking Trump.
Okay,
just with those baseline agreements.
Trump, the Fed recently printed $16 billion. I'm just saying, like, these are things like where, come on. And Mike Huckabee, every time he's not really in trouble. I think he's having a very calm interview here. Oh, the questions are all right, but like the follow-ups need to be sharper, Tucker. They need to be way sharper. But when he feels like a little bit of a hint of like, damn, I might be caught on this one, he just appeals to Tucker's Republicanism. That's what he does. Are you going against Trump, huh? How dare you? You're going against Trump, aren't you? Oh, you're a Republican, huh? What happened? He starts like appealing to that. And for some reason, Tucker has like a knee-jerk reaction to defend it when it's like, fuck that shit. Are you lying to me? He just apparently can't pause. He can't work in the pocket like a boxer, right? He can't phone booth fight, apparently, in this situation at least. Where it's like, no, are you lying to me? Let's ask questions to dig towards, are you lying to me? And then you look at the camera and say, what do I do, guys? I asked him these questions and brought him to this area, and he can't answer them. Instead, he's pivoting to fucking talking points or trying to change the subject. What do I do, guys? I think this guy's lying to me. If he's lying to me, I think he's lying to you because he knows it's being broadcasted. He's like lying to you, the audience. He's trying to appeal to you guys, the audience. How do you feel about that? Should he be here? Or should we find someone like who has a fucking pulse? Frankly. I know. George, shut up. Shut up. Tucker's got this, bro. Shut up. There we go.
It's also true that like our debt is not sustainable. And so given that, like, what do you think it will cost? What did it cost to move the fleet off Iran into the Persian Gulf?
A lot less than it would to bury a lot of Americans if they ever got a long-range ballistic missile.
You already have that.
A lot less.
Yeah,
Tucker, I want you to understand that when Iran has told us for 47 years they're going to kill us.
Missile. Right.
Do you think they would do it if they had the capacity militarily?
What would happen if Iran took out any of the energy facilities in the Gulf, or took out a bunch of them? What would happen to the United States economy, do you think?
Well, our economy probably would survive because we have energy independence thanks to President Trump.
We would survive.
Our economy is based on our own
markets?
Energy.
What do you think?
It would be a terrible thing to happen globally. It's why Iran is a global threat. It's why Iran, through its proxies, Tucker, this is another thing.
They're not blowing up energy infrastructure right now, but if we try to regime change them, they have said that they will. I don't know if they will or not.
I don't either.
Is that a risk that...
But they have their own problems to defend if they try to do that.
Uprisings?
And they lose their own energy capacity.
Worried about... So if they took out... And I don't know what's going to happen. And I guess we're not supposed to think about worst case because that makes us pro-Islamic or something. But I'm an American, and I don't want a depression in our country. It's too fractured and unstable right now. I don't think we want that at all. Okay,
none of us want that. Okay. None of us want.
Not right now. We don't. Not at all.
No, I don't want it. I don't want it next year, next week, 10 years from now.
Especially now, all these states are basically in a state of insurrection against the federal government. They're not enforcing the most basic law of the land, which is immigration.
And thank goodness President Trump is pushing back, and
I agree. I'm just saying,
to force
if all of a sudden
compliance,
markets just tanked and gas tripled or whatever, and you had, like a severe recession or something worse, that's a massive cost. And I don't see anybody factoring in that possibility. Iran has said it will do it. You've said 10 times they're evil. Okay, I believe you. Then why wouldn't they take out the Qatari gas fields they share with Qatar, or refining, petrochemicals, extraction in any of the Gulf countries? That would cripple us.
Are you worried
energy-wise,
again, we have independence because President Trump put measures in place that gave us the capacity.
Do we set international energy prices in the United States?
Yes.
In some ways,
in a way,
we
yes.
do, because our own market and our own production has a whole lot to do with what those world costs are going to be.
If you took Saudi
Arabia, the U.S. uses them in a way to attempt to dictate oil prices. Now they have access to one of the other giant oil reserves, which is Venezuela. They can use that to shift markets around. So I'm just sad. There we go.
And our own production has a whole lot to do with what those world costs are going to be.
If you took Saudi energy production or Qatari energy production or Emirati energy production
and
offline.
that is making an assumption that if there were regime change, that they would be more effective at attacking than we would be defending. And that's a pretty
Can we defend the Straits of Hormuz? Can we defend all of that energy infrastructure? Is anyone even asking these questions, or it's all like a Mark Levin episode where we're like, they're bad.
They are certainly asking the questions. That's part of the whole process.
Just saying, I've raised this before, and it's like, shut up, Carlson. You're taking money from the jihadis. I've never taken a dime from anybody, obviously. I just care about the United States, and it freaks me out, and no one else seems worried about this.
And caring about the U.S., you should care about the fact that the proxies of Iran have moved globally. 12 Central and South American countries have Hezbollah deeply embedded. Venezuela, one of the worst. They're in the Western Hemisphere already. Do we know how
Where
many?
would you rank that on the like list of concerns for the average American, Hezbollah in South
I doubt
America?
most Americans think about it. I think about it because I know what they do. I know that if it weren't for Iran, there wouldn't be Hamas, there wouldn't be the Houthis, there wouldn't be Hezbollah. We wouldn't have the problem on the border with Lebanon. We wouldn't have the problem with Yemen. We wouldn't have the
problem on the border with Lebanon. I'm an American. I'm not having any problems on the.
I mean, Tucker, you could make the point like, well, without us, there wouldn't be Israel. There wouldn't be the Syrian government wouldn't be there. I think Trump took credit for it today. By the way, the U.S. or him as representing the U.S. took credit for the new government of Syria. I mean, Qatar, UAE, Saudi Arabia, these things, like, it'd be a lot different if there wasn't U.S. hands over everything. But that's just a normal counterpoint, right? That Tucker's not thinking
Well,
of.
maybe the Muslims need to calm their tits and stop blowing us up, and we deal with the situations.
Thank you for that, I think, dumb response. Yeah, that was a dumb counterpoint to that. You've been good lately, too. You've been a good boy lately, haven't you? Okay, let's continue.
Wouldn't be Hezbollah. We wouldn't have the problem on the border with Lebanon. We wouldn't have the problem with Yemen. We wouldn't have the
problem on the border with Lebanon. I'm an American. I'm not having any problems on the border with Lebanon right now. I live in Maine. We don't have problems on the border of Lebanon. Like, what are you even talking about? No offense.
There's 700,000 Americans who live in Israel, for one thing. Does that matter to you?
Well, of course, every American life matters to
Every
me.
life, you say, matters the same, so that should matter. When
But
they start,
my country, like,
when
I'm
they
just
start
saying, like,
shelling civilians,
Tell them
and
to come back.
civilians get killed and
just come back.
displaced, that should matter to all of us.
but I mean, there's a genocide going on, like, in all kinds of different countries. There's a lot that's sad and broken about the world. We know that as Christians, Satan rules the world.
Mm-hmm.
But our job as like members of a nation state is to look after our community, our
100%.
families, right? So I don't think any of the concerns that you've just raised, which I think are all real, I'm not disputing them at all, are even in like the top 100 for Americans. So
think
how
that
can the
Iran-
U.S. government be spending this much time and money worrying about things that are not on the list of Americans' concerns? Do we have self-government? Does it matter what Americans actually think, or doesn't it?
Of course it does, but it also matters
How much does it
what
matter?
the threat is
Yes.
to Americans.
Dig
Do you
in.
think there's a threat to Americans because of the proliferation of the proxies in Iran?
Conceivably there
Who for 47
is.
years-
I'm
But-
not
but-
pro-Iran.
But
Go back to your question, Tucker.
do
Go
you
back
think
to
that they mean it
We've
when
got
they
a
say
threat
for
from
47
drug
years?
cartels like in my town, and no one's doing anything about it at all.
You
And
don't
I'm
think
hearing
the
a lot
president's
about
doing
the,
anything about that?
no one's doing anything about it at all. Okay, that's a fact. We have a huge country. This is
we
a
do.
country the size of New Jersey with no resources. It's just a tiny little country.
Mm-hmm.
We're from a huge continental-sized country that's totally diverse, very, very hard to manage and police, and we have a lot of problems. And
Oh boy.
I just think, if you ask Americans, what do they want to spend their time and money worrying about fixing, improving? No one's going to mention the border with Lebanon that I know. Do you think?
I doubt they will. But
then why are we
to
doing
think,
this? Don't their
I would like to
opinions
think that
matter?
there are people that the U.S. government has monitoring what the threats are to Americans long term.
Sure, yeah, I
Do you
agree.
think there's a threat? The question is, when people
We
tell
thought
you
there was
for
a threat from
47
Saddam.
years, well, but I don't know that Saddam ever said he was going to take down America. But
you just
the
said-
Iranian regime has said for 47 years they are.
Well, you just
If they had the capacity of a long-range ballistic missile and nuclear capability, do you think they'd light that puppy up and send it to us?
I don't know. But I know
Well, I know this from sitting here last year, 4 wars that I went through in less than a year. The Iranians rained down ballistic missiles.
Can I ask you a question? Like, how much does it matter what Americans think?
Well, it matters every bit what Americans think. That's why
Okay.
Americans vote. It's why Americans have the opportunity to have free speech. We want them to have that.
Okay, so what
We
percentage
want
of
them to
Americans
have
support a war with?
The language alone, we want them to have free speech. Like, is that up to you? Should that, or is that up to you? That's a side question that Tucker's not going to be able to hit on because he gets a little bit scrambled. I think he's finding his kind of stasis a little bit more, right? But yeah, Mike Huckabee is essentially going to make the argument like, your opinion doesn't matter. Whatever you have, we give it to you. Pause. The jobs, we give them to you. Your speech, we give it to you. We give you the ability to speak freely. It's given to you from us. We do the hard work. That's why you need to worry about the border between, Israel and Lebanon or some shit like that. That's why I need to know about Lebanon so badly. We need to focus on that because you dumb children don't understand. Mr. I guess high IQ Mike Huckabee knows better. Look at his pin, bro. Trust him. That suit and pin. See that? Can you afford that? I bet you can't. So thus, he knows better than you do. He also knows what dick tastes like. All right, here we go.
Well, it matters every bit what Americans think. That's why
Okay.
Americans
It matters
vote.
so
It's why
much.
Americans have the opportunity
They vote.
to have free
Oh.
speech. We want them to have that.
Okay, so what percentage of Americans support a war with Iran?
I don't know. Do you know?
I do. I think it's around. I saw the numbers yesterday. I think it was like 21%.
Okay.
Is that enough to have a war with Iran?
We don't live in a world where you have a poll taken to find out whether our policy should be a particular direction.
He's
because
saying
I
your
thought
opinion
you just said
doesn't
that's
matter.
we
direct
vote-
democracy. No, we care deeply about it. But on the other hand, do we make the decisions of foreign policy and even domestic policy based on
We
what
care
the latest
deeply about
poll
it in
number
what
is?
sense? If we're ignoring it, then in what sense do we, quote, care deeply about it?
Thank you, Tucker.
Well, I think
Yes.
we care deeply when we see there's a threat.
No, but about Americans' opinions. So you've got 350 million Americans. They vote. They voted in this last election on the basis, in part, of the promise no more wars. Okay, so now we're about to have a war. Looks like 80% of people are against it. In that range, let's say 70%, but nowhere near majority support for this war. And it's not direct democracy, but it is a form of democracy. It's representative democracy.
The ultimate form of democracy in our system, in a republic, because
That's
we're not
because
a
they only poll
democracy, we're a
Democrat.
republic.
Exactly, right? It's a mediated democracy.
It'll be an opportunity for Americans to vote if they think that we've made the wrong policy decisions. I personally think the president is making the right policy decisions.
But I guess, but you just said,
God. I get what Tucker's doing here, and he should keep going. All right, for even pausing that. Here we go. I think he's going in the right direction, in my opinion. Here we go.
It'll be an opportunity for Americans to vote if they think that we've made the wrong policy decisions. I personally think the president is making the right policy decisions.
but I guess, but you just said it matters deeply what Americans think, and if the overwhelming
does
majority are against it, in what sense does it matter? Because what I hear is it matters what they think, but it really doesn't matter what they think because.
No, you take it in, you certainly ingest that.
And then what do
But
you do with
ultimately-
it once you ingest it?
Then you make sure that you have no.
You just gotta.
if you
It goes
have-
out the other end, obviously.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't, Tucker. But you also have information that the average
don't swallow,
American
Tucker.
may not have.
What
They
is
may
that
not know what the threat is. How many Americans know that Hezbollah is in 12 Western Hemisphere
How
countries?
many Americans care?
Well, I would hope they would all care. How many Americans know
No, not so
how
much.
many
Not so
people
much.
from Iran, from terrorist cells, have come across Joe Biden's open border? How many Americans
Well, I
care
definitely
about that?
care about that.
Okay, you
Why
care
haven't
about
they
it,
been rounded up?
but they're trying. But you got all these blue state mayors and governors making it very
it.
difficult.
Get it.
But thank God President Trump is trying to get it done.
Look, I'm totally all for that completely.
Okay.
I guess what I'm saying is that
You're a fucking
most
liar. Call him a
Americans,
liar,
I've never
Tucker.
met an American who thinks, other than like the people who have ideological reasons to pretend they think it, that the imminent threat to America is anything having to do with Iran. The imminent threats to America include like
Yes, Tucker, call him a
bankruptcy
liar
from too
because
much
Muslims
debt,
themselves
your
certainly
son
don't
ODing on
exist in America.
fentanyl.
Yeah.
Never,
Your
never
neighborhood
have they
completely
ever
changing
existed.
because unlike Israel, Americans don't have a right to their country. It can just be completely changed by their legislature. New people can show up from foreign countries and not speak your language, and there's nothing you can do about it because you don't have a right because you're not Bibi. Can you feel the resentment? Because it's real. I'm not against Israel. I'm against the total
You
destruction.
hide that very well.
I'm mad at my lawmakers for not protecting my country with the care they've protected Israel.
I don't think that your country, my country, our country, has spent that much time protecting Israel. I asked you a little bit ago.
They spent no time protecting
I
my
asked you-
country.
No, I asked you. Well, actually, they do.
How?
They are the tip of the spear. Every enemy they have is our
Yeah,
enemy.
country?
Things that are targeted toward us often go through them.
How do we have 60 million illegal aliens if they protected my country?
Well, that we didn't protect our country because we had a president that opened up the borders and didn't give
This
a
has
rip.
been
that
going on since
people
Reagan.
coming in.
Since Reagan, 1986.
Yeah, but
That's 40
give
years
President
this year.
Trump the credit for having
No,
closed the border.
I love
know.
the fact, I campaigned for Trump because he said he would close the border. He did. Amen. Thank you, Trump. But we had Reagan. Then we had Bush. Then we had Clinton. Then we had Bush again. Ugh. Then we had that guy, Obama. And then, you know the presidents.
Yeah.
And they all presided over my country's total transformation from a nice, clean, affluent, orderly society into like pretty kind of third world, actually. That's not protecting us. That's behaving with total contempt for my country.
You said a moment ago that we do more, or you inferred that we do more for Israel than we do for ourselves. Do you believe that?
No, I don't. I didn't say we do more for Israel. It's like, but where's the care? Where's the concern? Where's the, holy smokes, there are drug cartels in your neighborhood? You're telling me about the border with Lebanon and like Hezbollah or Hezbollah, whatever you call it, in some Latin American country? I don't care. There are drug cartels in my neighborhood. I know people who've died of fentanyl ODs.
Where'd the fentanyl come from? Probably from
Came
China.
from Mexico.
From China through
Yeah,
Mexico.
the precursor chemicals, they say, come from China. I get it.
And who's in that axis with China? Iran.
Larry Fink is in that axis with, no, actually, the heads of our biggest corporations are in that axis with China. I don't care about Iran at all. I care about America. And if blowing up Iran makes my country richer and safer, I'm for it. And if it doesn't, I'm totally opposed. It's that simple. I think most Americans feel that way, no?
Are you trying to like win something with that? Like, that was a actually damning thing to say out loud, Tucker. But I'm glad you said it though. Another thing I can memorize. I get he's like, okay, to be fair, he is trying to like win the argument against this guy for like, I don't know why he's struggling. Like, yeah, let's be real. The only thing you could actually say, like, you're a fucking liar, Mike Huckabee.
Iran,
We know you're a fucking liar.
self-admittedly,
You're caught. You're a
is an
liar.
enemy of the U.S.
Okay, but Mike
So
is Mike
they haven't declared war, but they've said, yeah, we don't like you guys. Fuck off.
Okay, sure.
So
Is Mike Huckabee a liar, Harrison?
well, he's a politician. I think they're both
Is
liars.
he a fucking liar?
He's a politician. Of course he's a liar.
Don't put a fucking border in between that. Is
I think he's
he
better than some
himself
politicians.
a fucking
If I'm going
liar?
to grade him as a politician, and all politicians are liar, I'm going to give him a B minus.
Is he, as a human being, a lie? Does he lie quite often on like very big topics? Does he do that?
He lies less than some politicians, but yes, he's a politician and he's a liar.
This soft protection, I love that. Your fucking hockey pads out, kid. Okay. Also, it's like, once again, that logical thing right there, I would have stuck there, Tucker. If I was Tucker, I would have stayed there. Like, well, you don't actually care what people think about it because you're the daddy. You're the smartest guy in the room, right? So if I pull you in front of a crowd, say, hey, answer these questions. It's not about, like, who cares if they boo or they cheer? It doesn't matter. The point is, like, you know better. And you know better because, listen, the Trump administration is very amazing right now. They're so amazing. I mean, his dick tastes delicious. I mean, mwah, chef's kiss delicious. If that's your fucking answer for things, Mike Huckabee. Although, like, we already know this guy's full shit, right? He's a full shit liar. He's not more honest than most. I'm sorry. This guy's a fucking liar. You can put whipped cream on dog shit all you want. He's a fucking liar. Not as a whole human
but if
being.
He's believing in,
but his
he
job
what
is
some of
to
what he's saying
lie.
is true.
Come
If
on, he's
what some of he's
caught.
saying is true.
He's caught already.
That's not a bold-faced lie.
No, I believe in honesty, but
If he
I don't
believes
see
it.
that. I don't see that. I would call it honesty if I thought that was the case. I don't see honesty. I see a fucking liar. A guy lying for whatever fucking reason. Probably because the devil's dick tastes good. I don't mean Trump by that. I mean, like, the actual devil. Like, this motherfucker's a devil worshiper. That's what I see right now. And he will lead you to a fucking empty field with nothing but mass graves in front of it and say, my bad, I'm sorry. Not good enough. Tucker, not good enough. Say what it is. This guy's lying to you. Aren't you personally insulted, Tucker, that this guy's fucking lying to you? Don't go on your show later and be like, well, you know, Mike Huckabee, yeah. I mean, had some interesting takes, but, you know, we all, like, wink, wink. We all know this guy's not that good. It's not quality. Come on. It's not like he's a good or bad politician. He's fucking lying. He's not a politician at all. He's just lying. That's his role. That's his role he plays. It's not politician. It's liar. You tell me that the border with Lebanon, like, Americans just don't understand how important this is. And what would we do? What would we do without Israel, huh? What would we do? He's lying. Hezbollah's in fucking Sinaloa. It's in Cancun. Fucking Hezbollah's on vacation in fucking Cancun, Mexico. He'll say whatever it fucking takes for whatever reason. I don't know if it's religious. I don't know if he's paid. I don't know if he's threatened. I don't know if he's just likes lying for the sake of lying.
Yeah, but even you don't even know for a fact he's lying. Maybe he's got.
I think he's aware.
He works for the government.
I think he's aware.
Maybe he's got the documents you've not seen. He's got a clearance level you don't.
Oh man, maybe he knows something. Damn it! Fuck! Yo, Christ, come down here. Mike knows something that we don't get. Maybe ask him about it. Does Jesus have security clearance for this, or is he like what does he do? What does he do? Like, listen, man, Lebanon's got to go down. You know what I'm saying? They got Hezbollah in there.
Jesus has
they got to go down.
I have security clearance. He knows
okay.
he's omnipotent.
These guys can't hear. I don't think they can hear him now. That's what I'm saying, Harrison. They don't hear him. They fake it, which is the definition of devil worshiper to me. They use the image of that guy for their own means, which means what? Death and destruction across the globe. And say, you're benefiting from this, so shut your mouth. Accept this. You're benefiting, dude. Like, shut your fucking mouth. Accept it. Enjoy it. I mean, there's levels to shut, and it's like, yo, would you use the most gross fucking things that exist on planet Earth? Would you fucking use that against people that you call your own people, by the way? Would you use that against them? And apparently they fucking would. Without hesitation. There's no question you can ask Mike Huckabee. Oh, if it's Tucker, right? There's no question you can ask him to where he's not going to fucking lie to you about it. He'll lie to you. Which means, like, yo, I think this is where if I can, like, possess Tucker right now, but yo, you're a fucking liar. You should quit your job. This interview's over. I'm putting this out on the internet. You're a fucking liar, though, my man. Good luck sleeping at night. You fucking pussy. You coward. You coward. And I scare him a little bit. Like, listen, that guy you claim to worship exists. He's watching right now. I'll see you later, pal. Yeah, cut the camera. We're good. I'd do that. Well, I can't speak for Jesus, but I think that guy's watching. I think you're fucked. Your ego's fucked. I'd say that. Anyways, let's continue with the Liathon. Here we go.
I asked you a question a little bit ago you never got back to, because I think it's an important one. Because one of the things that I sense a tension with you, you feel like that we do too much for
I'm
Israel.
X-raying you right now, Mike
nothing
Huckabee.
from it.
I see a coal.
And
I don't see a heart there anywhere.
No, I don't think we're
shriveled
getting-
up.
How many boots
prune.
on the ground has the U.S. placed on behalf of Israel?
However many went to Iraq. We did that for Israel.
No, I don't think we did.
But you said we did it because of 9/11?
That was the U.S. justification for it.
But it wasn't for
that-
9/11. So what was the actual reason?
You might
Well,
say oil.
The
over.
U.S. government told us it was for 9/11. They told us that they were part of it, that they had
But they-
weapons of mass
But
destruction.
they knew they had
Remember all
nothing to do
that?
with 9/11, obviously.
Maybe
There's no
not.
evidence.
But I'm
So
telling
what
you
was the
that
actual
Israel was
reason?
not in that component. But
Israel
here's-
had no influence on our decision to invade Iraq. That's not what the people who made the decision say. They say Israel
Well, let me get back to the point.
gave us that information about the fake weapons of mass destruction. Where do you think that came
question
from?
was,
It came from Bibi.
How many Americans put their boots on the ground for Israel? The answer is zero.
Everybody who served in
Zero.
Iraq
That's
put
not
their
true.
boots on the
No,
ground
they
for
didn't.
Israel.
Did not.
Where did we get the information about the weapons of mass destruction that wasn't
We
real?
didn't get that from. You're saying we got that from Israel? That Israel was one pushed us into that?
played a role
Well,
in that.
absolutely.
You really believe that?
I know that for a fact.
For
And
a
so
fact.
does every. Yes, this has been widely written about and discussed. And I'm not attacking Israel. Like, they thought it was in their interest to take out a government that was paying the families of suicide bombers. I get it. I'm not mad at Israel about that. I never have been. I'm mad at the Bush administration and all the people who went along with this to the detriment of my country. That's who I'm mad at, not Israel. Bibi's doing what he can for his country, whether you agree with him or not. I want my leaders to do the same for my country. That's it.
I think the president.
He is not doing the best for his country. He's damning his country. And you can see it by just PR alone. He is damning his own country. Because motherfuckers can't separate that motherfucker, that devil-worshipping motherfucker, from regular people. They're not making the separations. Tucker, no, I think Tucker, now I'm like, yo, you're a fucking liar. You don't see that? Or maybe, are you that stupid? Maybe it's incompetence. I'll leave room. But like, he's damning his own innocent people. Like, he's like, who cares? Because like, I'm fine. But fuck those guys. If they protest against what I'm doing, kick their fucking teeth in. And we've seen it. From all these countries, of these well-established businessmen that love God. Sure you do. And for some reason, that's not enough to be like, yo, you're fired. Get the fuck out. That alone is fireable to me. But check the metric. 2026, we're here. Yeah. Actually, let me leave and come back real fast. Man, unfucking believable. This flies in today's world. This is called normal nowadays. It's fucking ridiculous. Here we go.
Leadership is doing just that. I truly do. And I don't think that it's at all accurate to even intimate that tiny little Israel is pushing the U.S. into something it does not want to do.
Our leaders appear to want to do it. Our public does not want to do it at all. The public does not want war with Iran. Bibi does.
But
He's
they don't
gotten
understand, Tucker.
7 trips to the White House. The average American
question would be,
hold on. The average American doesn't
understand.
have
We need to do this.
that level of access, and a foreign leader does. 7 in 1 year, and now we're moving toward war with Iran. The average American doesn't want that war. The average American is outraged. Don't you understand?
I
I'm not
understand that
attacking
we
Bibi
have
at all.
the strongest president I've ever seen in my lifetime, going back to Eisenhower, for gosh sake.
If you're an American,
No. Listen to me, Tucker, for gosh sake.
I'm not attacking Trump.
If
I
you're-
like Trump.
I know,
He's
but
appealing
you're
to
making it
his
sound like that
Republicanism.
he is being pulled into something
Don't you
that
love
he
Trump?
really doesn't want to do, or pulled into something because he's persuaded.
I'm
I've
neither
been in the
saying that
meetings.
nor
I
implying
was in
it.
the meeting last week. I was in the meetings last summer. I can assure you, President Trump is not being led into something at all by
be clear,
Prime Minister Netanyahu.
Yo, Tucker, it's time to say fuck that guy. Like, yeah, whatever. What about Trump? Fuck that guy. He's made blunder after blunder. I don't think, and let's be real, they're not even mistakes. This guy is full of shit, liar like you are. So what about him? You're gonna appeal to him to save yourself, to save something else, right? To save the apparatus. Like, fuck that. Who the fuck is this guy? Come on. Every little topic we've seen him fuck up on. There's no reason to defend him anymore, Tucker. Unless you're full of shit yourself or a coward. I'll leave room for that. You could be a fucking coward. That's all I can see right now. You're either a coward or you're in on it. That's all I can say. I can't even say incompetence. I've heard you talk enough to where it's like, it's not even incompetence. So, like, fess up, like, or you both should be fired, intellectually fired. Like, yeah, bye. See you later. Here we go.
To be clear, I'm neither saying that nor implying it.
Good.
What I am
I
stating
love
out
Trump.
loud is true.
Why did you
and
need to
that's
say that? What's the point?
Prime Minister Netanyahu, Bibi Netanyahu, has way more influence over Americans' foreign policy than Americans do. And we know this because he wants a war with Iran. The overwhelming majority of Americans don't want a war with Iran, and we're very likely to get a war with Iran. So who has more influence, Benjamin Netanyahu or 80% of Americans? And I'm saying that's outrageous. That's all I'm saying.
I would counter that. Bibi Netanyahu does not want a war with Iran. To say that he wants a war,
His hands are forced.
you know who's going to be at the very front of that? His people. And I don't agree with that. I'm with him enough to know he does not want a war.
He doesn't.
Does he think that there may be a necessity of taking a war in order to prevent an attack on not just Israel,
I
but
don't
on
want to
the
be
United
argumentative,
States?
but I think I know too much. I mean,
Yeah.
let's be real. Okay, so
Thank
there
you.
was,
Let's get real.
Steve Witkoff, in my opinion, is just a sterling guy, just a good guy, excellent
good guy.
Right? That's my
He
view.
struggles. but,
And
yeah.
kind of pro-American and just couldn't be nicer and wants to do the right thing. And he's probably Trump's best friend. He and maybe
Not good
Jared
enough.
too are involved in a negotiation with Hamas.
Or you mean with Iran?
With Iran.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Okay.
And the Israeli government short circuits it by hitting Iran. So, like,
What do you mean they short-circuited by hitting Iran?
Oh, say it,
they
Mike.
did everything they could.
Mike, say it. Say, no. Trump was directly involved in the initial bombings of Iran. I want him to say that. And I want to watch Tucker squirm when he does. But here we go.
They short-circuited by hitting Iran.
They did everything they could to shut down the negotiations between the United States, the Trump administration, and Iran. And look, they're acting again in their own interest.
Go over the 12-day war, man.
But our country should also act in its own interest. That's all I'm saying. And so don't tell me that Bibi doesn't want a war with Iran.
He doesn't. If Jared Kushner and Steve Witkoff could be successful in getting the president's demands, and keep in mind, these are the president's demands.
What are those demands?
No enrichment, no nuclear weapon, quit killing your own people in the streets by the tens of thousands.
Propaganda,
You
propaganda,
and I both
propaganda.
agree that it's a horrible thing to kill your own citizens, which Iran is
It's
doing.
a horrible thing to kill anybody's citizens.
Anybody's citizens. We agree on that.
Except that they're 14-year-olds working for Hamas. But
No,
whatever.
it's still a tragedy.
No, it is. Sorry, I'm being a jerk.
You,
Okay.
you really are being a jerk.
I am.
on
I
that.
know. I
You
know.
are
I know.
being
I know.
a jerk on that.
I am such a jerk.
I'm going to write down.
You're right.
Tucker
You're right.
Carlson
I know.
admitted.
I know.
Everywhere.
He's a jerk. Oh, I am a jerk. Everyone knows that. I mean, I'm really trying. Okay.
Okay.
No, but I agree with you 100%. Of course, it's a
If
tragedy.
that could be done,
It's some Full
And I
House
pray it can.
sitcom
Yes.
moments.
and you know why? Number one, because it would be wonderful for everybody. Number two, if there is a war, you're going to be 6,000 miles from it. You know where I'm going to be? In the bullseye. Do I want there to be a war? No. Do Israelis want there to be a war? No.
How many? I keep hearing Israel's fighting a 7-front war right now.
Wasn't Bibi hiding out in Greece or something like that while his own country was being bombarded with bombs? Yeah, I'm sure he cares so much about his fucking people. Like, people need to wake the fuck up. Like, seriously. It's embarrassing at this point. Like, I mean, what's the word the kids use? Cuck? Are we really that? Is that what humans are? I mean, I'm not that. But does anyone actually want to be that? That's what's happening behind your backs, guys. Or not. Just all be entertainment. There we go.
Those 7 fronts.
Well, you got Lebanon. You have Egypt. Now, Egypt is not an active war, but you have the Muslim Brotherhood within Egypt. You've got the Muslim Brotherhood in Jordan.
Oh, okay.
You've got Syria.
Wait, they're fighting a war with Jordan?
With the Muslim Brotherhood that is in Jordan, not directly with Jordan, not the government.
Listen, wherever there's Muslims, Israel's at war with them, according to Mike Huckabee. Here we go.
Of Jordan.
But are they...
You've got Hezbollah. You've got...
In Lebanon.
Houthis.
In Yemen.
You have Hamas in Gaza. You have the threats that come from Iran. And how many is that?
That's 7.
That's 7. Okay. I'd give you an 8th one. You know the 8th one? The media. No, I would tell you there's an 8th front war. They fight.
How many journalists has Israel killed in Gaza?
I don't know.
Over 200. That seems like
now,
a
are
lot.
they real journalists? Because a lot of those people that were supposedly journalists were actually Hamas fighters that are documented Hamas fighters. So that's why I ask you, how many are actual journalists?
You know, I don't know, but a lot of them were. I mean, they work for big news organizations and they had press written on their chest.
Yeah, some of them had UNRWA cars and they were also working for Hamas.
Is that the
So
UN?
I'm concerned, do you think that over 200 journalists killed in Gaza are all fake journalists who deserve to be
I
killed?
have no idea how many the total number is. I don't have their credentials.
Why don't you go
but
find
I know
out?
that there were quite a few that were actually Hamas fighters that protected Hamas. Ask the hostages. The hostages came back and they started telling about the number of people that were doctors in hospitals that held them hostage in their homes, or the number of people who were pretending to be journalists who were actually holding them hostage.
As someone
I'm just telling you that there's a lot more to what...
As someone whose tax dollars helped pay for killing all those civilians in Gaza, I feel like I have a right to know how many were killed, and Israel won't let outside observers in to figure it out, and I'm frustrated. I just want to say that. My last question is about Christians.
Okay. Worthy? Let me say what the question is. Is Huckabee concerned about persecution of Christians? It's like, where? In Israel? It's like, no, it's not even there. No big deal. But that's where I'm done at that point. It's supposed to be about human beings, not whether you're Christian or not, right? Yeah. Actually, absolutely remarkable. This entire discussion, I thought it'd be like kind of like very lame, actually, and it was intellectually, but still like interesting. It's like watching, you know, the zookeeper stuck in the cage with a silverback gorilla. And just like staring at it to see what happens, right? That's kind of what I got from this. I mean, intellectually, just not there, because it's a conversation like continuing. Meanwhile, it's like, well, someone's lying here. I think it's clear as day Mike Huckabee's lying, and although this is probably the only long form version I've seen of Mike Huckabee, I think it's pretty safe to establish this guy's a devil worshiper. I'm just being honest with you. He's a fucking devil worshiper. It is what it is. He's gonna have to deal with his own demons in his own mind and psyche. He is pathological. I can say that very confidently. Can't guarantee it, right? Because we always have to leave room for possibilities of being incorrect about something. But like, I'm pretty sure this guy's a devil worshiper. My definition, right? Not the world's definition, but my definition. I think he's pretty much there. I think he would use the iconography of something that's supposed to be benevolent and loving. I think he would use that iconography to do harmful things to people, or excuse harmful things that happen to people. That's where we're at. Tucker, you need to put on your big boy pants and say, yo, Trump, you're a fucking liar, dude. You're full of shit. Don't wait for season 10 to do that. Do it now. If you have any fucking balls or courage. Otherwise, we'll just look at you as like a coward that waited for the last second. But wait a minute. Everyone hates Trump now? Fuck. Okay. Listen, Trump's a bad guy, okay? Let me tell you. I don't want to hear that shit. Say it outright, up front, with courage. With courage. Trust me, it's worth it. There's something worth it about all that stuff. But if you Johnny-come-lately shit, it is what it is. Also with that one statement of, well, listen to the hostages. I understand that. That's worthy evidence, right? But there's also other hostages. And if it becomes a he said, she said, what does it beg? What questions are begged now? It begs for investigation. Is Mike Huckabee, like, what's his point as being an ambassador? What does he do? Just sit in rooms and wait for bombs to fall out, like, on the building? Is that his job? Is it to, hey, what is, the BB administration saying? Let me just copy that and repeat it to other people and defend it. Fuck. You're using human shields. Where'd that one go? I think it disappeared after a while, didn't it? The human shields argument for why so many civilians die in these exchanges. I think they got rid of that. I think they have to move on to something else. Like, what do you expect? What do you expect Israel to do about this? Yeah, maybe not like blow up families. Maybe that's a, worthwhile thing to not just buy into and do off rep. But if you have no empathy, yeah, I can see that. And the most damning thing of all, which is when they, in my opinion, like attempt to, they can't actually do it. Someone has to give their own hearts up. But the actual seemingly attempt from these apparatuses is to get you to lose your heart. Trying to get you to do that. They can't do that. They have no right over it. But if you willingly give away your own fucking heart, yeah, good luck not being able to walk in sunlight. They turned you into a fucking vampire. They sired you as a fucking vampire. Congratulations. But either way, I'll leave it there. Very interesting conversation of dumb fuckery. Like, I was just trying to talk about the universe before this video. And now I hear this shit. It's like, wow, we're here. But there's your video. Please subscribe if you feel like. Comment, agree or disagree. Say your opinion. I'm sure a lot of Tucker fans will be pissed off. I'm sure they'll cut it off in 5 minutes. Like, oh my God, Tucker's the man. You fucking dissing him already? I'm sure they'll run away very quickly. It is what it is. I understand. Do your thing, guys. YOLO. But yeah, let your opinion be known. Don't forget to share support. Hopefully donate to all the links in the description box. Also, please check out the Discord link if you want to join that. All opinions are welcome. And obviously, this video will be linked for you to look at on your own without me talking over it or laughing at the ridiculousness of their statements. Or whatever, or pausing it every 5 seconds. And go watch it on your own. So please do that if you feel like. And if you have a brain. And most importantly, with all that said, give this video a thumbs down.